All right. Okay. Bam. Bam. Oh, dang it, Richard. Bam. 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 Okay. Nope. 20 hours ago. That's probably why it doesn't work. 20 hours ago. Okay. Nope, that don't work either. What's up, Nicholas? Welcome, brother. All right, what did I break here? I broke something. Jeez. Wheeze. Bum, 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 boom, boom. There we go. That's working. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's on the internet. Let's see why evolution hits a probability wall. Watch the sculpt blazing. What happens when you okay? Jeez. All right, let's check.
You know, in the
Somebody screwed up here really bad. No.
code book, it says never use an aluminum ladder. Well, maybe this is why.
They must have put it against a power line.
Molten ground out of an aluminum ladder. Everything's steaming around there. I mean, wouldn't you think the ladder would go first? Never seen anything close to this before, but yeah, that's interesting enough.
Jeez.
You know, in the code book, it says never.
That's freaking crazy. No bueno. No bueno. What up, Georgie? I'm at the park again. Saw an old friend yesterday. Said my ex-girlfriend I was always talking about would probably take me back. I said there's no way. Good. Good. Of course. Of course. You were funding her. Of course she'd take you back. Yeah, no way. Absolutely no way. Jeez. All right, let's see what we're missing here. All right, let's see. The flavor that didn't exist. Japanese kirisu. Uh-oh. Somebody got canceled. Let's see. Power your home. Let's see. Joe Bastard's winter forecast. Oh, Jabastardi. Yeah, that was so nuts. Look at that. Blew that freaking building right up. Or the gas tank right up. Man. That's serious. I wonder if somebody walked in there. I think it was from lightning. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Bad stuff. All right. Let's see. Let's see what's going on the internet. Man drank a bottle of rubbing alcohol for COVID-19. That's not a good idea. Making some really thin foils. Cargo ship capsizes. Man, people are crazy. Top Fauci advisor pleads guilty. Man. Gold mine collapses in Africa, killing more than 100 people. Oh no! I can't believe nobody's running. This is a big iron there, brother. This is a gold mine, what they call a artisanal gold mine, which means artisans, individuals are going to dig usually where there was a previous gold mining operation, like a you could call it a professional gold mining operation, where they had tractors, like front end loaders and earth movers and stuff. And then after the company that's running that operation doesn't find it worthwhile anymore, you get like this, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of artisanal miners, all like independent, just people that go there to start digging, see if they can find some gold. And you usually can still find some gold, if you're lucky, but it's not like if they don't find a couple of ounces a day for the company, it's not worth it. So, they leave, and then still people here can find, a couple dollars a day in gold. And apparently there's no safety there. There's nobody, as they dig things out, nobody built structures to keep it from collapsing in on themselves. And it's odd. I work in a coal mine to see a lot of, yeah. Well, this is our artisanal. It's like, yeah. What up, Mr. Plod? El Cid is rolling over in his grave. Yeah, this ain't coal mining, brother. Mushroom X. Necessarily, if God exists necessarily. Possibly God doesn't exist, therefore God doesn't exist. Welcome to atheism. Yeah. I just left atheism in the past 5 years, brother. Yeah, the problem with atheism is you don't learn your way into atheism. You're convinced into atheism. If you try to learn everything about the world, especially chemistry, biology, a lot of biologists will tell you that things about creation and creation events. But the more you go down the chemistry, then you realize that they didn't really know what they're talking about, because they have to tell you assumptions. They have to assume things were the way they were millions of years ago. But science has to be repeatable, and you can't repeat history. So you can't say, oh, this dinosaur did this or that, because you can't go back and repeat that. So so that's a big problem. People. Uh-oh, I lost myself. People, science by definition has to be repeatable. History by definition cannot be repeated, or isn't repeated. That's why it's history. You love banana milk? I am. Thank you, brother. Banana milk. Somebody love banana milk. All right, let's see what we can find. If we can find anything else about this. About this collapse. Journalism. All right, let's check out your thing, Big Iron. Let's check out coal mining. Man, this stuff is freaking creepy. Let me see if I can find a better video. This is all shorts. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, okay. Is this going to show? Let me see if I can find something that's actually got the. There we go. Commodity culture.
When we trace the history of coal mining back from when it was first brought out of the earth until today, a lot of people had to give their lives to pave the way for energy generation, making it one of the more dangerous professions over the ages. In fact, from 1900 to 2020, an estimated 104,895 people perished while mining coal in the U.S. alone, according to the United States Department of Labor. But considering that archaeological evidence after approximately 3,490 BC shows early
what up,
surface
John,
coal
brother?
mining
Yeah,
in
Black
China,
Lung, absolutely.
the number of lives lost worldwide throughout history is undoubtedly a far bigger number. In the first underground coal mines, miners toiled with primitive pickaxes and only a meager candle to light the area. The candle also proved dangerous, however, as it could cause pockets of methane
Until,
gas trapped in the earth.
What's the mesh netting that goes over the candle flame, or the I can't remember what it's called. You got black lung, Pennsylvania.
To as fire damp to ignite and explode,
Wow, what was it
bringing
called?
certain death to
Can't
any
remember.
miner
Dang.
in the vicinity of the blast. Choke damp was another major concern, a form of stale air that could suffocate miners to death. Add to that the potential risk of flooding, which can and did happen regularly. And we can see that
Steam-powered
it was
water
sometimes
pumps
a
was
roll
huge.
of
What's
the
up,
dice
Kevin,
for
brother?
miners on a daily basis to determine if they lived
PA
or
isn't
died.
dead. That's a
It
Ben
was also
Stiller.
very common to be in a permanent
I remember Zoolander.
state of strain and injury from toiling with such heavy weight through awkwardly spaced mining shafts, so overall, life kinda sucked for early era miners. Now, it wasn't just the men that risked their lives, women and children had some of the worst of it, being forced to crawl on their hands and knees in tight areas of almost total blackness with a rope tied around their bodies from which they dragged extremely heavy carts of recently mined coal. They got this job because they were smaller
What's up,
in
sir,
stature and
Jacob?
more easily able to fit in the
Yeah,
various
it's hot here, brother. Still in the 90s, 94. I think we got to today.
crevices of the mine,
Out here in
but they
Georgia.
sometimes never saw daylight at all except on Sundays, as they were underground from before sunrise to after sundown. In 1842, the Mines and Collieries Act was passed in the United Kingdom, which forbade women of any age and boys under the age of 10 from working in a
Under
mine.
10.
This
I
came
went
to
mining
pass
a
after a
museum a couple
mining
months
accident
ago.
caused
Learned all
by
about this.
steam overflow due to violent thunderstorms left 26 children dead at a mine in the UK. Now, the initial solution to the problem of explosive gas was a special class of miners called firemen, who wrapped themselves in protective clothing and took shelter under panels of wood before purposefully igniting trapped gases with a long
Something I would tell my younger self. It's what my name is. I fail first. Learn to fail. The dotted line between starting and succeeding. The reason it's dotted, the reason the line is broken is those dots are failure points. Most people are too afraid to fail. That's why they don't even try. Most people will never try anything due to their fear of failing. Learn to love failing. Learn to know how to fail successfully, how to pivot, how to learn from your failures. That's the best thing anyone could know in their entire life. That's the best thing anyone can learn in their entire life. Learn to love failure. Learn to love passing failure. Learn from failure. Absolutely, brother. 90, 104 in Austin, Texas. Gee. The lamps, they have a mesh around them. Dang. The Davy lamp, the Harvey lamp, Davy lamp. Lamp with a, damn it. Candle lamp with mesh flame to prevent explosions. Davy?
The Davy lamp, candle lamp with a wire mesh.
Yeah. So it's got wire screen around it, which is tight enough mesh to let the light out, but the explosive gases won't get through there because kind of has to do with the heating of it from the flame. So explosive gases can't get in there at a big mixture to cause huge explosions. So after the Davy lamp was invented, you didn't really have issues with cave. Here's one of the originals right here. This is one of the originals looking right there. Yeah, safety devices for mining, the Davy lamp. Haven't seen it since the 90s since like June. Do you have any regrets in your life? Yes, I do. One of my biggest regrets is being afraid of failure in my youth, not doing things because I was worried that failure would follow me. But no one remembers your failures unless it's the last thing you've done. If the last thing you've done in your life is failed at something, you'll be remembered for that. But if you continue to succeed, to success, then they'll remember you for that. Then that failure was just a dot along the way. But absolutely, yeah. A reason the cardboard is corrugated, and without it, the world would fail. They use some different. They use something different though. Nowadays, what's up, Alec?
Long torch or a candle drawn on a string. They needed to do this multiple times per day to ensure the mine shafts were kept clear of explosive gases while the miners extracted coal. To say this job was stressful would be an understatement indeed. The coking of coal was first implemented in 1740 for the smelting of iron, and this made it much more economically feasible to produce it, resulting in a boom for the iron industry. The iron created by coking coal
the fear
was
of failure,
then used to build more
I've been on my
effective
PC for like
implements and
I've been on my
technology.
PC for like 2 hours now trying to figure out how to make a 3D image spin, but I can't figure out. I watched so many videos and none of them taught me anything. What? So there's in almost all 3D design packages there will be a rotation number. And you can set your rotation to 0, make a keyframe, then set it. Then, like, how long do you want the rotation to last? Do you want it to go from here to here in like 5 seconds? Down the timeline, go 5 seconds, make another keyframe, and adjust the rotation to 360. And it'll go from 0 to 360 and however long that time is. So you have to find keyframes and rotation. That should be the only 2 things you need. Yes, I know quite a bit. Yeah.
To mine more coal.
98 degrees to 360.
Modern coal mining is
that's fine. You could do that too. There should be steps. There should be another, depending on the package you're using, like Blender or Godot or whatever, you can find steps, and that will be in degree steps. Usually you don't do that anymore because you don't want it to go ding, 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 unless you want it to for like artistry, for the artistic flair. You want it to go ding, 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 turn at 10 degree, 10 degree, 10 degree, rather than nice and smooth. And there'll usually be an option on your keyframes called tweening. And tweening will like make it speed up and slow down. It'll mesh between how it frames. Newspaper. You look like mildly Pixar coded, like a dad for a Pixar movie. I know who you're talking about. Somebody brought it up like a year ago. The dad from Coraline. Here's some of the coal mines are still burning. Yeah, in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's one. Yeah, hold on, newspaper. The father from Coraline. That's mother. Hold on. There you go. There you go, brother newspaper. I bought a really nice packet the other day from Harbor Freight for $75. Got it for 40. There you go. A nice backpack. What up, Catsby? Good evening. I am late to the lotto winning memos. Yes, you are. Thank you, Sir Jacob. I think listen, I love how creative people are. I listen, there are people in this world. There are pessimists and there are optimists. Try to be an optimist, or try to surround yourself with optimists. People that can find comedy, fun, and something positive in anything. And your life will be a lot better. You choose who you surround yourself with. Absolutely. What's his name? Coraline's dad.
Come a long way and consists mainly of 3 methods. Continuous mining employs remote-controlled monstrous machines with foot-long teeth called continuous miners to break through the earth and extract the coal. These devices can extract as much coal in 1 minute as used to take an entire day back in the 1920s. Longwall mining.
It's amazing that with other forms of hunting and mining, like we almost killed all of the buffalo. We almost made them extinct. We've almost made extinct whales, but we can pull out coal at a rate unbelievably faster than we used to back when we used to take sailboats out to kill whales for fuel. And it's still not empty. It's still not done. We still got plenty.
Was first introduced in the late 1950s.
And
has evolved a lot since that time. Like continuous mining, longwall relies on special machinery. Now it's a little tough to explain, so here's a definition from the Dictionary of Energy. A mining method in which very long rectangular blocks of coal are defined during the development stage of the mine and then extracted in a single continuous operation by an automated cutting head moving
efficient.
Parallel to the coal face. Surface mining became a viable method following World War II and eliminated a lot of the risks associated with underground mining by once again employing huge machines, but this time to strip away earth and reveal coal seams that lie closer to the surface. These machines, called dragline excavators, are considered the world's largest land-based machines and are a spectacular sight to behold. Surface mining is done in large open areas of land where coal seams can be readily identified that don't require going deep underground to uncover. Commodity Culture is a series that covers the history.
There you go. And you see this power station right there? A lot of people see those towers right here and think it's nuclear. It's not. Those are just cooling towers. No matter what energy you produce, like whether it's using nuclear to heat up water, to boil water, turn it into steam, to turn a steam turbine into a generator, power, to make electricity. Same thing. Coal does the same thing. You boil water to do the same thing. Wood, same thing. Oil, same thing. Natural gas, same thing. You're just boiling water, and then you use those cooling towers. But most people think of them as that's what I'm wondering. Yeah, you get stripped by. Yeah, that's why is there so much coal? How much coal is left on Earth?
The Earth has about 1.1 to 1.3 trillion short tons of proven coal reserves. At current usage rates, this supply is expected to last roughly 130 to 140 years.
So, how much coal has been mined? How much coal has been mined on Earth?
Humanity has mined an estimated hundreds of billions of tons of coal throughout history. While there isn't a precise cumulative total, annual global production now exceeds 9.6 billion short tons.
To approximately 10 billion tons a year. I guess that's a freaking lot. And that's a lot, because coal doesn't weigh that much. If you ever lifted a piece of coal, it's not really heavy. It's pretty light. It's lighter than a rock, typically. I used to have a coal-fired, not coal-fired, I don't know if you call it coal-fired or not. I used to have a coal-burning stove. Instead of, it was a wood-burning stove that had an adapter that would burn coal. And we had a coal bin, and my dad would get truckloads of coal, and me and my brother would shovel it into the coal bin. And I remember it being lighter than I expected. I still complained. Dad. All right, let's see. There you go. Man, coal mine is rough, dude. And like there's still places around the world where people mine it by hand. I know a lot, and there's a lot of like small places, small mines in the Middle East. Let me see if I can find one. I think it's like Pakistan. Yeah, here you go.
Look.
All right, hold on.
Deep in the rugged hills of rural Pakistan, miners are toiling away in small, cramped mines. Here, they're digging coal by hand. You might wonder, why not use machinery? Well, there are a few reasons. First, the cost. Many of these small-scale miners can't afford the pricey machines. The initial investment, plus ongoing maintenance and fuel, is just too high for them. So they stick to manual labor. Then, there's the coal itself. Not all coal is created equal. Low-quality coal typically has lower market value. Hand mining allows miners to keep operational costs low, making it more viable to extract and sell lower-grade coal. And don't forget the conditions. These mines are narrow, with low ceilings, making it tough for machines to operate. The extracted coal is then carried out by donkeys, navigating the tight, winding tunnels. It's tough, grueling work, but for many, it's the only way.
Jeez. Types of coal. All
Coal
right.
is classified into 4 main types: lignite, subbituminous, bituminous, and anthracite,
There
based
you
on
go.
carbon content and energy.
I might
Lignite
have
has the
I
lowest
missed it.
rank,
Hear the steps
while
after you
anthracite
stream.
has the
If you send me
highest.
that, make me-
These
all right.
types are used
All
for
right.
electricity generation, steel production, and heating.
What software are you using, Alec? What software are you using? So let me know real quick, because I mean, it should be the same with almost all software. Finished my science project, but just what software are you using? Blender. All right. Right. All right. I'll let you know. I'll give you. I'll send you some on Discord. Okay. Let's see. All right. You know that after edit mode you have to go. All right. Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. You get 1 out of 4. No, you're welcome, Alec. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. 4 miles. 4 miles deep in a coal mine. Jeez. Man. Big Iron. Are you in America? Where are you mining coal at? Big Iron? Or whoever else is there? Give me wisdom, old timer. You missed my wisdom. I gave my wisdom a little earlier in the stream. My wisdom is learn to not fear failure, because each dot is a failure. So you have to learn to love to fail. Learn to learn from failure so that you can pivot, learn why you failed, and then continue. That's the best wisdom, brother. Uh-oh. There you go. Is it still glitching? We good now? All right. Learn to love failure, Quay. That's what you gotta learn. Learn to love failure. Learn that failure is important. It's a part of success. It's the most important part of succeeding, because most people are too afraid to fail to even try, to even start. Yeah, don't be afraid of failure. As long as you can keep going, as long as you can learn from your failure, you can fail as many times as you have to finally get to success. Okay, let's see. Why? Oh, wow. That's a big ass amethyst. All right. Roman bridge engineering. Top physics of the week. Jeez. Aftershocks. Try, fail, try. That's right. That's why the line drawn between starting and succeeding is dotted. That's why my name is I Fail First. Yes, you have to learn. You have to fail first before succeeding. You must. You must. If most people, everybody that I know, millionaires, billionaires, movie industry tycoons, oil people, they'll drill an oil well and there'll be nothing there. They failed at reaching oil. So what do? You pull everything up. You collect all of your equipment. You go to another spot. You drill again. You dig into the ground to find gold. You don't find any gold. Do you give up? No. You get everything back together and you try again. I will finish it. There you go. That's right. Then succeed. That's what happens. Like you, Alec. You failed at rotating your 3D image in Blender. And so what did you do? You didn't just give up. You went and you said, hey, can you help me out with this? And then you're going to end up succeeding. So that's how life works. Okay, let's see. But people think failure's a bad thing. ND Beats. What up, brother? I wrote a book about an ancient broken sword, but it was pointless. He's getting into his pun era. Microscopic world around us. Incredible lightning strikes. Pyroclastic flows. Simaru volcano. Monkey. Oh, wow. Here's a feel good. Family's beloved golden retriever buried by landslide pulled out in 3 days. Pulled out after 3 days. 3 gut wrenching days.
Kasi itong side na to wala, baka tabon din sa kabila.
Jeez. What percentage of people do what? I like swords. But where's the PDF document at? Oh, for the sword? A sword?
Op. Turun ke tembakan. Yan o. Yes, eh. Oh, ayan
Oh, that's a
Lexa.
wall. That's a wall.
Kaya kailangan matanggal to. Kasi na ano yun? Nagagalaw niya. Kailangan lang maalis to. Kaya nga. Ayan na oh. Ayan na. Pilit niya lumabas eh oh.
Wait lang, Lexa. Man.
Wait lang. Stay. Lexa. Oo, yan. Oh. Yeah. Wait, Lexa.
Oo, sirain mo.
Man. Papa, I'm the person who loves a woman with all their heart, but I'm constantly blown away by the decision-making process.
Go.
Right, so you need to learn their decision-making processes before you fall in love with them. You need to learn about their how they make money, what their history is, why they're single now, like all that before. Yeah, Georgie, it's not just boobs. No.
Wait lang! Kaya mo yan! Konti na lang! Go! Kaya mo yan! Wait! Tabi mo na! Press ka muna konti. Yan. Sige. Kailangan isa. Naipit yung kalahati. Naipit.
Come on, get the doggy. Get the puppy.
Go! Konti na lang. Go! Eto na oh. Go! Konti na lang. Kaya mo yan. Lexa! Yes! Lexa! Konti na lang, Lexa. Konti na lang.
Give him some water.
Ayos na.
Go on with the feet jammers. You can find cat in the hat. What's up, Barbara?
Ipit na ipit.
May sugat siya.
Nice. Save the dog. How are you, Barbara?
Oh,
They
kasi
dug out a
sabit-sabit
dog.
Tali.
That's the happiest dog on the planet. This for some reason drives me to silent Ciento Wilson. What's up, Lando? Man, beautiful. Nice. Save the dog. Save the doge. Fife jammer. What is it? Sparkle Queen? It looks like it has to do with traffic in is an online community provides real-time traffic updates. I changed my name to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I thought it was a sharp decision, but apparently a little too edgy. That's El Ciento, isn't it? I don't believe in aliens now. You know what I forgot to do? Oh, no wonder. Jeez. Those Seattle was a viral social media video created of a chicken rooster calling the floating debris on a flood of audios. Man, castaway top. Yeah, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. Kids are nuts. Look, I'm familiar with his story. They found some of his money too. It's all right. It's all right. Let's see. He jumped out of an airplane. He stole a bunch of money, hijacked an airplane, basically, and then he jumped out of the airplane with the money. He got a parachute, but we can watch it on there. That's freaking half hour long. What's in that? Let's see. All right, let's find the freaking story. Let's find the story. Oops. What up, bull monkey? Dun, 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 dun. An hour long. I'm watching that. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's history. Don't get me a freaking what they call. All right, we'll watch this. What's up?
A man
I used to
smartly
be
dressed,
Dave.
softly spoken, is sitting in
Bull
seat 18C as his Boeing 727 Flight 305 taxis down the runway. Calmly, he slips the good-looking flight attendant a note. Oh no, not again, she thinks, assuming it's just another phone number from a lonely businessman. She folds the note and puts it in her purse, whereupon the man confidently informs her, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." One question is, did he? But the bigger question is, after this gentleman air pirate got the ransom money he asked for, what happened to him? How did the man that became known as D.B. Cooper just disappear and maintain his disappearing act forevermore? Or was he one of the suspects we'll talk about today? First, you'll need the details of the crime. It was Thanksgiving Eve, November 24, 1971. A man told staff at Northwest Orient Airlines counter at Portland International Airport his name was Dan Cooper. How he became D.B. Cooper was a matter of a communication breakdown, but suffice to say, we very much doubt he was a Dan or a Cooper. Reservoir Dog style, he was neatly dressed in a black suit with a black tie and a pressed white shirt. Later, staff said he was probably mid-40s and of average build. Sometime in the mid-afternoon, the plane left Portland with about one-third of the seats taken.
George.
That was ideal.
Mr. George is my facade. Well, nice to meet you, DB, brother.
For Mr. Cooper. He got himself a bourbon and let the flight attendant know that he'd written down a lot more on that note than a phone number. The flight attendant was Florence Schaffner, who was soon joined by a newbie named Tina Mucklow. It was Mucklow who immediately informed the pilots that they had a bit of a situation on their hands. She said, "There's this guy in a black suit back there, wearing horn-rimmed glasses, saying he has a bomb." At the same time, Mucklow took a seat next to Cooper and he opened his briefcase for her. To her dismay, when he did so, she thought she saw 8 sticks of dynamite connected to 2 wires and a battery. In his hand, he had a trigger. She was told in no uncertain terms, albeit in a very polite way, that he wanted $200,000 in cash, 2 front parachutes and 2 back parachutes for when the plane landed in Seattle. He also demanded that when they land there should be a fuel truck waiting. It was Mucklow who then became an intermediary for the hijacker and the rest of the plane's crew. Many years later, in an interview, she said, "I was there for the hijacker to kind of keep him feeling safe, reassured, comfortable, and not detonating that bomb." When she got a moment to herself, she prayed, not just for herself, but for everyone on the plane, including the hijacker. That flight should have only taken about 30 minutes to reach Seattle, but the plane circled in the skies for close to 2 hours as the government agents decided what to do and got the things together for the hijacker. The other passengers at this point had no idea what was going on and were told that the plane was having some mechanical problems. All the time, Cooper seemed unbelievably calm, pointing out of the window at places he saw down below. Mucklow later said he seemed rather nice. He was never cruel or nasty. He was thoughtful and calm all the time. He even ordered another bourbon and paid for it too, not that he really needed to. It was then that Mucklow picked up the courage to ask him why he was doing this, and did he have some sort of grudge against the airline. Cooper responded, "I don't have a grudge against your airline, miss. I just have a grudge." That grudge will soon become a big part of the story. Don't forget about it. When the plane landed, Cooper got his money in unmarked $20 bills, each of them having been filmed first. He also got his parachutes, but declined them because they were military parachutes. He didn't have to wait too long before he got civilian parachutes. All the passengers, still ignorant of what was really happening, were released. The plane just sat there, all of its window shades closed to prevent snipers from firing inside. Now Cooper had what he wanted. He also let Schaffner and another flight attendant go, although Mucklow was told she'd be staying for the next flight. As the plane was being refueled, the authorities asked to talk face-to-face with Cooper, to which he, of course, replied with a resounding no. He added, "Let's get the show on the road." The authorities had been busy trying to stall the refueling, but the plane went up in the end. Cooper told the pilots their destination was Mexico City and they should travel at the lowest speed possible, about 115 miles per hour, and not go above 10,000 feet. He also demanded that the wing flaps should be lowered to 15 degrees and that the cabin had to stay unpressurized. He had, of course, figured out how he might jump safely, although as you'll see, safety was almost impossible. It was then that he had a bit of a setback, when the first officer told him that there was no way they'd get all the way to Mexico City and they'd have to refuel again on the way. Nevada's Reno Tahoe International Airport was chosen, and Cooper along with Mucklow stayed in the cabin and waited. Years later, Mucklow said, "I think the one feeling that was forefront in my mind was I just felt so alone." It was her again who would deal with Cooper directly before the jump. He had told the ground staff that he wanted to fly with the exit door open and the stairs down, but that, they said, was just too dangerous, so when the time came to jump, he asked Mucklow to help him with the door and stairs. In the end, he just told her to go to the cockpit. He'd do it himself. She looked at him in a painful tone and said, "Will you please take the bomb with you?" He either didn't hear her or ignored her, still fiddling with the parachutes. There, she left him, the last person ever to see the gentleman hijacker. She just hoped that when she got back to the cockpit, they'd all be safe. The pilot later recalled, all of a sudden, the cockpit door opened, and in walked this lovely lady who'd been our passive resistance to the hijacker. No sooner than the door opened, Cooper was hit by the wind. It was noisy and hectic, and he couldn't get the stairs down. Using the intercom, he told the pilots the problem. Over the howls of the wind, they told him they'd slow the plane down for him. It worked, and soon Cooper left the plane. The same pilot sat with Mucklow in the back of an FBI car once they landed in Reno.
Brother,
she cried as she'd never cried before.
I think the same type of stuff when I hear this stuff. So I think the same thing. I think the same. I used to work at the airport when I was younger. 16 years old, I worked at the airport. So and my father was in aviation propulsion. These are the types of things where you have to wonder what's actually real, and if the reason they let the population know that he said 115 miles per hour was just because if any copycats said the number 115 miles per hour and under 10,000, like the same too, you knew what they were going to do. Like even if DB Cooper never said any of this stuff, right? It's those things that they inject into the media to try to catch copy. But I don't know, right? Right, but 150 miles an hour. There's a lot of speculation he was from city of Winnipeg. Real name's James McDonald. James H. McDonald. So they're way off of DB and Cooper.
The pilot turned to her and said, "It's okay, it's over." It was over. No one had died or even had been injured, but that plane was missing a few things: Cooper, the money, and the bomb. The FBI released composite sketches of the guy they were calling Cooper. They had fingerprints, they had some of the parachutes he hadn't used, they even had his clip-on tie and tie pin. As for how he got the name DB Cooper, cops looked into a man right at the beginning of the investigation named DB Cooper. There was no way that it was him, but an eager reporter used the name, and that hit the newswire, and well, the name stuck. Experts soon chimed in, saying parachuting over that particular area in the dead of night was a perilous thing to do. Not even some of the best parachuters in the world would be foolhardy enough to try such a stunt. But whoever Cooper really was, he obviously knew his stuff. Not at any point had he seemed worried. DB Cooper could have been a real-life action man. We'll come to this later. He'd obviously left the plane, there was no doubt about that, but the Air Force F-106 pilots who'd been in the sky that night had seen nothing. Not a man or a parachute. Still, in the darkness and moving at that speed, it was unlikely they'd have seen him. Not even their radars had picked up anything. Then there was the question of where he'd landed. Figuring that out was no easy feat. When a person jumps from an aircraft...
Yeah, I'm sure they are. This was 70s, right? 1970s? (1971), so she was probably a 20-year-old. She's probably in her 70s now. I mean, so possibly.
At that speed, it's almost impossible to know where they'd land, given they had no idea where he'd pulled his chute. Dressed all in black, flying through the night sky, he was pretty much invisible, and once he hit the ground, he could use the darkness to make his getaway. On top of that, if he had died during his escape, well, there would be a body, wouldn't there?
Right.
Had that bag containing 10,000 $20 bills flown off into the sky, it would have landed someplace.
Right.
Perhaps it might have opened, and those marked bills would have gone flying around like dandelions in the wind. But they found nothing, including the bomb. The one great lead cops got was in 1980. A young boy had been playing at the side of the Columbia River just north of Portland, and he discovered some $20 bills. Not the entire stack, but $5,800, which is a fairly significant amount. Had Cooper just lost some of the money? We'll come back to this too. You can bet that folks were out in numbers for days, weeks, months, even years.
What up,
hiking around
Ocean
the area
brother?
looking for what they believed was a fortune. The FBI recreated the event using a sled instead of a human and pushing it out of the plane. Their conclusion was if Cooper had safely landed, he'd landed in pretty unforgiving territory. A man could certainly go missing for many years in that rough terrain. Still, they searched and visited just about every house they could. They flew aircraft over the area, had helicopters doing regular searches, and found nothing, not a body or even a scrap of clothing that could be his. Winter came and went, and when the snow thawed, the Army, the Air Force, the National Guard, police, and civilians mounted a huge search over areas where Cooper should have landed. They even used a submarine to search one of the lakes in the area and again found nothing. What they did find was a skeleton, and that turned out to be the remains of a girl who'd been abducted and murdered. The only person who ever really got close to Cooper was Mucklow, but after being interviewed by the FBI, she just wanted to forget the whole ordeal. It didn't stop civilian sleuths from hunting her down and turning up at her door. They thought somehow she must have known something. She might have even been involved.
Right.
She later said, "I went on with my life, pursued what I needed to do, and had my own personal interests, likes, and wants. I wasn't defined by that
I'm
hijack."
100% certain my grandma told me my great uncle was friends with him. She told me a long time ago, and that's all I remember. I used to be Dave. You might want to put that story onto a video.
Jacking. Still, every year, people would turn up at
AI, what up, sports? AI escaped sandbox, hacked bank accounts, paid different highly skilled people to do different tasks, challenging global dynamics in its favor. Yeah, go figure. Go figure. So when you train AI, listen, there's also an element of fear. They want you to be scared of it so that you'll be happy to pay or be taxed so that there's professionals that can protect you from that fear, you know? And so he was living in Vancouver at the time.
her door asking questions. She knew nothing. She was certainly no part of the hijack. So without any sign of a body, the cops went in search for the money, scouring casinos and other places where they might have been spent in an act of laundering. They offered a reward of $25,000 to anyone who could return the cash, but until that kid dug up some of it, none of the bills were ever found. In 1978, the authorities came across some more evidence. A deer hunter had been out and about in a rural part of Washington state when he found a card with instructions on it. Those were instructions on how to lower some stairs on a Boeing 727. It was thought they belonged to Cooper, with the discovery being made in an area where the card could have landed from that plane.
Oh, it was a 720.
As you know, then
the
some of
random
cash
dead
was
girl
found.
in the lake
It was
got
also
treated like a
discovered in
side
an area
character.
of concern,
R.I.P.
but some things about
AI
the money just
brainwashed
didn't
you and
make
others
sense.
not to fear
How
so
come
they could
some of the
silently
bills
take
from
over?
one packet were missing? How come 3 packets all stayed together after being
I'm not fearful of anything like that at all. I'm not fearful. The industry that I'm in, I'm not fearful of an AI takeover. I don't have enough money that I'm fearful that AI will cleanse my bank account or anything like that. And most people that should be fearful are the people that have digital assets, Bitcoin, stuff like that. It's primary part of their wealth, because these are the people that are going to have the biggest problems with it. But movie industry folks like myself and live streamers like myself, you know, it's not something that I'm really worried about. Police are becoming more and more a tool of the specific little country. Police are becoming more and more a tool of a specific little country. Which one? I remember a few years ago, England police were looking for a woman's body. They found another woman's body, totally unconnected, had gone missing a couple months earlier. Yeah. Dude, listen, we're still finding, in like small towns in America, we're still finding people that drove off the road in like the 1960s and 70s and there's and it's not even the police that are finding the bodies. It's like YouTubers that are like, let's go dive for this old, and they find it. They're like, why couldn't the police do that? Because they're like, hey, we already worked a 12-hour shift. Let's just say we did it and leave.
Separated from the rest of the cash. Then, many years later, scientists said that the money hadn't fallen into the river after the hijacking, but had gotten there many months later. How had it made its way there? Bundles of cash don't tend to move well on their own. But if Cooper had survived, how did that money get separated? The authorities even dredged the river, but they didn't find one more bill. Civilians kept digging even when the authorities had stopped. One of them, Eric Olis, spent a decade looking for that money. He also came up empty-handed, but when asked in 2021 what he thought about the case,
he spent a decade looking for $200,000. He could have worked a job for $20,000 a year over those 10 years and made that money.
He said with confidence, "I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that he survived." This is why many people kept annoying Mucklow for all those years. Much of the public does not believe D.B. Cooper is dead. If he was dead, his body would have been found, or at least some of his belongings would have been found. Cooper knew what he was doing. He may not have been a consummate professional, but he had a plan, and his nonchalant attitude in the plane certainly tells us he knew something about flying and parachuting. It's also likely that the man who committed this crime would almost certainly have committed other crimes.
And why
These are the things we know for sure.
Why didn't anybody report somebody like him missing? Why didn't his wife or parents like say, hey, I haven't seen my son in 10 years?
Cooper was almost certainly 5 foot 10 inches tall. He had dark hair, tan skin. He likely weighed about 180 pounds. He was in his 40s. He also had brown-colored eyes. He'd been seen up close for an extended period of time, and so we're fairly certain about all this. We also know, due to the things he said to Mucklow, that he was very familiar with the Seattle area. He knew certain spots from the sky, and with his parachuting know-how, this has led people to think he might well have been an Air Force veteran. On top of that, he used the name Dan Cooper, who was actually a comic book Air Force hero who did fictional crazy stunts for the Royal Canadian Air Force.
We find Eric
These comics, though, were not available in the US, so the theory is Cooper might have read them when he was doing a tour with the Air Force in Europe. The comic theory might just be a coincidence, but in this case, nothing can be ignored. It just makes sense that Cooper had experience flying and parachuting. The reason he asked for more parachutes was cunning. That was, he knew if he asked for one, he might have been given one that didn't work. Since he asked for 4, that made the authorities think he was going to force someone to jump with him, so they couldn't risk giving him a faulty
shoot. Do you believe the crew of the
airplane? He chose
in
a 727 because he knew
because there's not. I mean, maybe back then there was no internet and stuff back then, so it would be difficult to know who was crewing the plane that you would be assigned to. Not like today, where like the pilot's going to be assigned to flights, like and you can just look it up online. We need 5. Because I want to make sure,
was an ideal one to jump out of, and he understood that it could be refueled very fast. He also knew the stairs could be lowered during the flight, something that we regular folks would never know. In short, Mr. Cooper knew that plane inside and out, and he was well aware of how and when to jump and where he'd be landing. He might have even known that around the time the CIA was secretly using 727s to covertly drop its guys during the Vietnam War. So, he could have been a well-trained military man with extensive knowledge of flying. Psychologists have also said that with such a high-risk plan, it's also very likely that the fella that committed this crime was in some serious debt. With all this in mind, you'd think he'd have been pretty easy to find. Let's now see who fit the bill for the Cooper identity. One of the suspects was Dwayne L. Weber, and he certainly looked like the mystery man. He had spent time in prison and had been in the Army. He also chain-smoked, and his booze of choice was bourbon. There's something we need to tell you here, too. As for the smoking, you could do that on commercial aircraft back in those days, and it seems Cooper did it with confidence. Mucklow had to light his cigarettes for him because one of his hands stayed on the trigger of the bomb at all times. So you'd think the FBI would have a load of finished smokes, and they
Right. Listen, and you have people, like, you still have people these days. Like, do you remember the guy that dressed up like the Joker and went into, I want to say, the Batman premiere in, I want to say it was in Florida or something, and shot a bunch of people? This was just a couple of years ago. Yeah, so people get intrigued by movie stars and movie, I don't know, what the hell do you call those people? Not the stars, the characters, and try to recreate things they do.
But they lost them, and years later, the agency said they had no idea where they were. That's such a pity, because once DNA profiling became a thing, those tabs could have pointed us to the identity of the hijacker. Moving on Weber's deathbed, his kidneys failing him, he turned to his wife and told her that he was the man who jumped out of a plane with a bag full of cash. With not much life left in him, he uttered the words, "I am Dan Cooper." He then died. His wife, somewhat surprised by his deathbed confession, later went through his things. What she found shocked her. She found not just one false ID, but a bunch of them. She later said she spent years investigating the possibility that her husband was Cooper. She believed his confession, saying she remembered him having nightmares about leaving fingerprints on the plane. She also remembered him one day around the time of the hijacking coming home with a knee injury. To add to this, a library book on Cooper was found with Weber's handwriting in it, and his wife can recall that one day he took her to where that kid found the cash. It's her belief that he hid the money, but some of it was damaged, so he threw those 3 bundles into the river and they ended up on the sandbank. She even found an old Northwest Airlines ticket. Still, while this all looks like solid circumstantial evidence, it's certainly not enough. The FBI investigated, but Weber, while being a bit of a secret criminal, just didn't look like the man. The agency did have some DNA evidence from the tie pin, although they admitted it was difficult to draw firm conclusions from the samples. What evidence they had just didn't match Weber's DNA profile. We should also add that the FBI is not 100% sure that the fingerprints they have are the ones of the hijacker. Another person who has been in the spotlight was L.D. Cooper, a Korean War veteran with a shady past. His loving niece was featured in a documentary about Cooper, saying she knew without a doubt her uncle was the man.
Yeah, but when I was 13, I remember them. Well, when I was 13, the first time I was on a plane, I remember they had ashtrays that people that were just filled full of like when you could flip them open and you could stick like they were crammed full of peanut bags and stuff like that. Like when people open the peanut bags, they would stick the trash in there. And I remember when I was young getting haircuts, back when I got haircuts, the barber chairs had ashtrays in the handles of the barber chairs too. Yes, I remember that you could get little pressed aluminum foil ashtrays at McDonald's, smoking McDonald's. The dog ends.
That hijacked the plane. Let's just say here, there were 900 suspects in this case, and a handful of people have said they have no doubt they know who the hijacker was. The niece said she recalled one Thanksgiving meeting with her uncle in the woods, and he was covered in blood. Her other uncle, Dewey Cooper, then said the words, "Well, we did it. We hijacked the airplane." L.D. Cooper then went missing. It wasn't until years later that his niece was told that the reason for his...
The problem is none of us have met him. No one, no, and we only know, like, he was the greatest guy ever until he became a Republican, and then the Democrats hated him, so the Democrat media hated him. But he was a media darling before that. So if you go through his history, like after this presidency, it's going to be different. It's, you know, you're going to be like, oh, he was in 700 rap songs or 400 or whatever it was. He was in movies. He had a TV show that was very, very popular. Yeah, so it's going to be different. I think a lot of people had very good ways to make a lot of money off of the government, and a lot of people are pissed off at him because those ways stopped. But I guess maybe we'll find out in the future. Just stay alive. What up, Sheba, brother?
Family was the fact that he was on the run after doing the hijacking. Nonetheless, she can't really offer much more evidence than the fact that she says she was told all this. She'd even been a bit tetchy with the journalists who tried to talk to her about it. There's also evidence that LD didn't just disappear and had in fact stayed in touch with the family until his death in '99. The journalist discovered that he had indeed moved away and gotten married. He apparently spent the last years of his life at a ministry run by a guy who was helping ex-convicts. So yes, he certainly had a mysterious life, and when you listen to the niece, it's easy to join the dots, but we still doubt that LD Cooper was DB Cooper. Then there's the compelling story of Barbara Dayton, whose name at birth was Robert Dayton. In 1969, she had a gender reassignment surgery, and the story goes that when she hijacked that plane in 1971, she dressed up as a man. This kind of clothes switch was not new to her, having been fond of wearing girls' clothes when she was still a boy. As for hijacking expertise, she'd been a merchant marine, had experience blowing things up with dynamite as a kid when working with her father, and in adult life, she loved nothing more than doing some pretty hair-raising parachute jumps.
Oh, there
Dayton
you
also
go.
got a license to fly planes in 1959, but then, still identifying as male, he failed to get what he really wanted, which was a commercial pilot's license. He failed the maths part of the test on 2 occasions and undoubtedly was quite upset about it. Now cast your mind back to the actual hijacking. When
James
Cooper told
Bond
the
was
flight
based
attendant that he
Winnipeg
didn't
named
have
Sir
a grudge
William
against the
Stevenson.
airline, but did have a
Intrepid
grudge
by
against
Virginia
something. He was also turned down by Johns Hopkins University when he asked for gender reassignment
potential.
surgery, but managed to get it later at Seattle's University Hospital. There are two possible grudges. This is hardly cogent evidence, but just before the hijacking, she went back to the hospital for a checkup, and the doctors noted she was very depressed, and one of the reasons was cash or a lack thereof. Then, when she went back after the hijacking, the doctors noted that her mood had greatly improved. It's still pretty weak in the evidence department. There's more, though. She lived in the area of the hijacking, so her friends would often talk about it. What those friends later said in interviews is interesting. They said she got mad when anyone criticized the hijacker, and then one day just admitted that she was D.B. Cooper. Their story says that she was depressed and so decided to do the heist. She dressed in a suit and put nail polish on her hair to make it dark. She then put together a bomb and later did the job. As for how she survived a perilous jump, she said she navigated through the sky using illuminated checkpoints. After landing, she ditched the cash and walked away, changing back into her woman's clothes. This made for the perfect getaway because no one was looking for a woman. It seems in later life she wasn't so chatty about her deeds, although this might have been a consequence of law enforcement expanding the statute of limitations on the case. The friend she told about the hijacking did eventually get in touch with the FBI, but it seems the agency didn't see much in the theory. Dayton, who was an enthusiastic smoker, died at age 76 from lung disease. Another suspect was a man named John List. List killed his wife, mother, and 3 children not long before the hijacking went down. The family was broke, but List said the main reason for the slayings was the fact that they distanced themselves from their religious faith. By killing them, he said their souls would get to heaven. Yep, he was nuts.
Have you heard about
but was he crazy enough to jump out of an airplane with a bag of money and a bomb? He looked like the Cooper sketch at the time, and he was the same height, age, and weight as the man they were looking for. There's also the fact that just before the hijacking, he spent $200,000 of his mother's savings, all the cash he had in the world. On top of this, he was a war veteran. The story gets even better when you hear that after he committed those awful murders, he stayed on the run for 18 years, getting married again and changing his name. That's why he was one of the main suspects for many years, but when he was eventually caught, he owned up to the murders, but said he had nothing to do with the Cooper case. He died in prison, age 82 in 2008, and he didn't have any deathbed confessions. Now for our favorite suspect, who is also a dead ringer for D.B. Cooper, Mr. Richard McCoy Jr. In terms of resumes, if you were looking to hire a skyjacker for your new business, this guy's work experience section would impress you greatly. He did 2 tours in Vietnam, one as a Green Beret helicopter pilot, and later worked for the Utah National Guard. He was even awarded an Army's Commendation Medal for heroism, a Purple Heart, and the Distinguished Flying Cross for a rescue he did. This guy really was an action hero. In the hobbies section under his resume, you'd have seen avid skydiver. We mean this guy was just perfect. He ticked all the boxes, and then when you learned that prior to the hijacking, he'd often talk to Special Forces buddies about doing such a thing, well, Mr. McCoy Jr. really looks like he could have been the infamous Cooper. And get this, on April 7th, 1972, he hijacked a plane and asked for $500,000 in ransom money. He'd also asked for 4 parachutes. The plane was a 727, and McCoy used the stairs for his jump. He got the cash and the chutes at San Francisco International Airport, and then flew to Utah. On the way, he jumped, but not before leaving his fingerprints everywhere. That buddy of his, who we'll call the worst friend in the world, watched the news on TV and thought, that sounds like the plan my old friend Richard had. He told the cops, and soon they were at McCoy's house, where they found all the cash in the attic minus $20 that McCoy had spent on some food. His fingerprints were also a match for those found on a magazine on the plane.
Brother.
He was sentenced to 45 years, but after fashioning a fake gun out of dental paste a couple of years later, he and a bunch of other inmates escaped. A few months later, he ran into some FBI agents, and after opening fire on them, one agent shot him dead. The agent later said, "When I shot Richard McCoy, I shot D.B. Cooper at the same time." Nonetheless, after an investigation, the authorities said that McCoy was actually much more skilled than Cooper, and so that meant he couldn't have been Cooper.
Yeah.
For instance, McCoy was way savvier when it came to knowing when to jump and what flying state the plane should be in. He also knew to wear a helmet and jumpsuit, something of great importance when it comes to surviving a jump from a commercial aircraft. McCoy had been desperate, that's for sure. He wanted to work for the FBI or CIA, but that never came to fruition.
That grudge.
The meager wage he did get hardly paid the bills, and his wife at the time of the
Real
hijackings was
McCoy.
threatening to leave him. The official report stated that
It really
McCoy
sounds
was
like
not
stories
D.B.
out of Gage
Cooper,
Public
but many years
Investigation
later,
Event.
some people involved, including
Right, and it will keep funding to these to these agencies. It'll keep funding to them. They could say, "No, it wasn't him. No, it wasn't him. We're still looking. We need another $1 million to keep looking." I mean, and the thing is, you don't know what people will do. You know, you don't know what people will do. You don't know what agencies will do, like firemen lighting fires so that they'll get more funding for their fire department, stuff like that. I mean, like, you just do not know.
A former FBI agent said that McCoy certainly was Cooper, but there had never been enough evidence to prove it. He said the skyjacking was no copycat crime, it was a repeat from a man who learned a few things after the first time. Later, McCoy's family said that the Brigham Young University tie clip found in the Cooper hijacking had belonged to McCoy, a former student at that university. But there is some more good evidence that comes from McCoy's former probation officer, who said he'd seen receipts from a Las Vegas gas station that had belonged to McCoy. Those receipts were from Thanksgiving Day on the day after the hijacking, and Vegas was about a day away by car from the Cooper landing zone. What was McCoy, who lived in Utah, doing in Vegas, a place where one can launder a load of money? The probation officer reckons that McCoy lost some of the cash on the jump and then took his chances in Vegas. It's worth noting here that the bag the authorities gave the hijacker didn't even have a zip. It would have been hard to keep the cash inside while flying through the sky, but then why didn't those bills turn up someplace? When McCoy was questioned about his whereabouts on the night of the hijacking, he'd first lied, saying he was home with his family in Utah. Why lie? The authorities have said time and again that any experienced skydiver would not have made that jump into the cold night, just because the more you know about skydiving, the more you would have known that you had about a 50% chance of dying. But McCoy
and then when you hear about what's going on here now in America, like there's this organization called the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and their whole shtick was to stop racism, stop hate. And what happened, I mean, there's a huge lawsuit. They got federally indicted. This woman that worked for them got arrested. They were embezzling money and whatnot. And they found out, at least currently through allegedly, they were funneling money to white supremacist groups to stage white supremacist events that they would then put on their website saying, look at all this white supremacy going on. We need to raise more money. And so, I mean, I remember watching Falling Down many years ago. Douglas gave a speech about the road being repaired to secure the future funding. Yep. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting?
He was desperate. He was losing his family, his house, everything. He certainly had a grudge, having risked his life so many times for the USA, and after getting back, receiving little in the way of help. McCoy never denied being Cooper, but never admitted it either. His wife wouldn't talk about it or help with the investigation, and she even filed a lawsuit against the probation officer for writing a book in which she said is to have helped her husband with the crimes. All we'll say is if any of these major suspects were D.B. Cooper, then it most likely was McCoy. He had the ability. He proved that in the second hijacking, he'd been in the right places and he lied about his whereabouts. He also had a big grudge and was desperate for cash. The FBI officially closed its case in 2016, saying if any new evidence turned up, it would open it again. Most, but not all agents would speculate that Cooper died that night, and because the area where his body landed is so vast and mountainous and covered in lakes and rivers, he and the rest of the things that went out of that plane with him were just never found. Maybe they'll turn up someday. Still, that scenario takes the heat off.
And the thing is, the money could have been found, but imagine if his body wasn't. And when you do the press release, you say only $5,800 of the $200,000 have been found. Now you've got people that are on a gold rush looking for that money, crawling all over that area looking for money, and then maybe they'll find his body, helping you with the helping you try help as a police officer, federal or whatever officer, trying to close the case. Right. So if you tell everybody, oh, we found $5,800 here, and then for 10 years, people are scouring the area looking for that extra cash, and they would have found his body or something. You imagine. And what else? Yeah, right. Probably nothing. Well, that was the oil crisis. Well, that was later on, 78, I believe. So this was 71. I mean, the Vietnam War just ended. Yeah. Might have been a slow news week. Everybody needed something to freaking write about. All right, let's see. Let's look at these homes that you're talking about. Bam. Oops. Okay, Hybertech homes. Hybertech. All right, let's say wildfire-proof homes. Oh, like hibernation technology? Yeah, they got a deal on Shark Tank for $1 million for 8% equity, hydraulically lowering wildfire-proof homes underground. He accepted an offer from Barbara Corcoran for 20% equity. The first prototype be built on her property. Wow. Pentagon Papers leaked
Let's
that
talk about new ways to stop fires. These are pretty incredible. Stopping wildfire can be hard, which is why startups are developing new ways to protect homes, including a system that hides houses underground and another that automatically launches a missile-like defense from against flames from a distance. 3 days into his term as Malibu mayor, Mickey Pearson watched his hometown burn.
I got to spend 4 years dealing with fire recovery.
And back in the day,
It's a nightmare. It's traumatic. It's overwhelming.
After the recent LA wildfires, Pearson believes new technology might be the answer.
There is no way we're ever going to have enough firefighters to stop or put out these big fires. You can't stop them, you can't put them out. So technology is exactly what we have to look towards.
Well, look, this is more of an illustrative idea, just so people can grasp the idea.
Holden Forrest thinks big. His solution is called Hybertech.
I wonder what would happen if we could put a house underground and bring it back up realistically. And
what about the water connections, the sewerage
5 years,
connections?
3 patents, and a team of 8 engineers later, Hybertech is set to build a prototype, a home that descends underground on hydraulics, protected by a sliding, fire-resistant cover. Even the utilities disconnect automatically.
We were skeptical as can be at the beginning because we thought it was crazy idea, just like most people will.
The process would take about 15 minutes.
The whole idea is to protect homes and lives in a way that's never been done before, in a revolutionary way.
Gotti Benjamin is developing a system called Fire Dome, inspired by Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system.
We need to think of battling wildfires just as we battle
I can understand
in the battlefield.
Fire Dome launchers would detect and shoot out water or fire retardant on hotspots up to a quarter-mile away, covering up to 100 acres.
We're fully autonomous. We don't need anyone physically there to operate the system.
Good,
Right now, they're testing
Turtles
key components.
Yeah, they figured it out a long time ago.
California by 2026.
I think there's a community of fire tech that is already out there, and we need to make it stronger. We need to have more innovative people, because this is one of humanity's biggest challenges, and we just saw it.
Well, so going back to the old days when people used to live underground and live in caves, now it's basically just the 2026 version of that, where your house turns into a cave. Yeah, interesting. We still don't know how practical it is. Barbara volunteered to build. Yeah, that's what it has to look like. She wants the first one built on her property. So I guess, automatically disconnecting the water, sewerage, and electrical lines. I guess you would want the electrical lines to stay connected as long as you could, or have huge battery backup, because they couldn't use a generator because it would just be filling that area full of carbon monoxide. You need a bunch of methylene blue or something to counteract the carbon monoxide in your blood. Maybe, who knows? Yeah. I mean, if she was willing to throw $1 million at it, they can figure something out. This is the thing that's interesting about government funding. Like, all of the problems they say the government is funding to fix, and they never get fixed because the people are making so much money fixing the problem that if the problem's fixed, they don't have a job anymore, right? So they lose the gravy train, and there needs to be something figured out in a way to stop that, especially with the SPLC stuff. Like, that's serious, because that really inflamed a bunch of people to think that there was a lot more hate, natural, organic hate, than there actually really was. It was being funded, so people were basically actors. Only ultra mega wealthy. Yep. Ultra mega wealthy. Have you seen the Earth? Have you ever seen the pool tables they use on cruise ships? So you could shoot pool. So the pool table looks like it's doing this, but it's actually staying still while the boat is moving around it. So your pool balls don't roll over the place. Have you read about the PBS stations? Like 70 years worth of data. Right. Yes. 50 terabytes data, been paying network provider. Right. Cloud service provider. Yes. It's absolute insanity. Right. So I think it's St. Louis PBS branch. They had 70 years worth of data. They didn't have any physical backups. Like, you can get a 200 Like you can get what? Let's see. Like you're talking about spinning platter drives. Very large spinning platter drives, terabytes. Let's see what you can get.
Modern hard drives use spinning platters to store massive amounts of data, reaching up to 4 terabytes per platter.
Okay.
High-end drives can stack up to 11 of these, achieving storage exceeding 44 terabytes.
So there you go. So 44 terabytes for one drive. All right. So buy 2 of them and back up everything and have it in your office. Yeah, it's crazy. Nice way to fix the go. I'm working on it, Mr. Plod. I'm working on it. What's up, Crying Fish, brother? Cruise ships are like ghettos. Well, now they are, absolutely. But check this out. Self-leveling pool tables on cruise ships.
To level a pool table, use a spirit level to locate.
Shut up. Gyroscopic leveling pool tables. Watch this. This is on a cruise ship. See how it looks like the table's moving? But it's not. The table's staying flat, and the building is moving, and the boat is moving around it, so the pool balls don't move. That'd make me puke. What'd you do there? You suck. They should have just made the whole room do that so you wouldn't be moving separate from the pool table. You know, Tool Story 2 was always completely erased except for one employee working from home and the only... that sounds familiar too. But I never trust any of that because you can use things like that. Like you're so... Look, moviegoers, you're so lucky this wasn't deleted. Go see it now. You're so lucky. It was one person away. So you ever can tell what's part of the hype machine, you know? And I seriously doubt that because like when you're editing movies, you've got local backups, you've got cloud backups, you've got master backups, you got like, so I think that's part of the hype machine. People think doctors, engineers, even becoming the president is the most powerful jobs. None of these jobs beats a PR job. They can break governments and change operations of people's mindsets. That's exactly right. And I used to say all the time, everything is marketing. Everything is so that has to do with PR. It has to do with how you're perceived and what marketing they do to make you believe something. Like the right-wing marketing is that Trump's doing a great job and everything's absolutely great. The left-wing marketing against Trump is he's doing horrible, he's destroying the world and everything. Which one's true? Well, the truth, he's probably doing some good stuff and some bad stuff, right? So, but it's just how he's marketed about. But what's the truth? That's the thing. And you won't know. You'll never know. I had a man turn up at my office yesterday in a wheelchair and make a company called Haas Mobility of Austria, $40,000. Haas Mobility of Austria. Yeah, somebody hit the wrong key and the animator said, we'll work on it, pieces of it and started racing. Maybe they were trying to use AI back then. Listen, AI's been around in some sense since 2011. And they probably wanted the movie industry, especially for generative AI. No, hold on, let's see. Self-balancing, two-wheeled, all-terrain, electric wheelchair. Off-road capabilities. That's so crazy. Why would they use all the extra power just to use two wheels? Stop. Self-leveling. That's pretty freaking crazy. 2018, actually, AI was available. He had it in 23, 24. Yeah. When and looking into this flock camera stuff, people are saying, "Oh, AI in traffic cameras," and it's coming out that there was AI in traffic cameras since like 2011, 2012. What up, TW? Happy Wednesday. AI's real-time ability to generate photorealistic images has been around since Wag the Dog in 1994, which is this depicting the industry of how yeah, crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff. Two wheels turn on the dime. See the train stopped on the tracks tonight in town. I am. What was it doing? Have you ever seen the off-road wheelchairs that YouTuber Jerry Rig everything makes? Yes, I saw that. Yeah. Quality of that 1994, quality of today. Yep, absolutely. No, absolutely. And listen, the quality that the AI that is available to us today is 10 years old. The way that generations released from what can be part of DARPA. So what could be dangerous for homeland security type stuff like that, national security, that stuff is already been developed, and we have the trash version of that they can protect themselves with that super much more advanced version. They had cell phones back during Vietnam War to use for the military, and that wasn't released like broadly until the late 80s, and Vietnam War was in the 60s. It's photorealistic back spots where it's, yeah, well, I mean, photorealistic doesn't get much better than that. I remember back then one of the issues was adding realistic background blur and visual effects real time. Like, you want to make somebody walking in front of somewhere and blur the background possibly, and like when they do this, like, you know, they move their hands, there's a motion blur. But who knows? I remember what R. Kelly said he was innocent. The proof was AI. Who never heard of generative AI, right? Yeah. Who knows? Oh, as you can do, it's unbelievable. It is amazing. They have to say it creates a flock, which somebody in a car can drive your own car without a person knowing. Look at it. Okay, look at the movie Eagle Eye when it came out. Also, flock cameras have been out since 20. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Train probably said I'm out of gas. Thanks, Obama. Everything we know about technology. Yeah, well, listen, I'll say at least 10. At least 10. Absolutely, at least 10. But some technologies may be much more. I'm assuming Flock will do it as digital handshake with your phone. Well, I mean, listen, definitely, that will definitely be part of it. Targeting people's phones, and even very, very low wattage devices like for TXRX, like Apple Watches and Fit Pros. What are those things called? The Fitbits and stuff like that. Yeah, they'll be able to track that from a distance rather than just your cell phone. My family, Jimmy Della, does a TV show. Actually, say 23 terahertz computer in 1990s analyzed the lights over Phoenix. 23 terahertz. Jeez. What was I looking up? Look up Eagle Eye. Oh, there you go. All right. 2008. Yeah, nice. Thanks, Obama. If your car's Bluetooth ain't shit. Deliet Soto, we owe Obama freaking $26. I meant you and your car's Bluetooth. Yeah. And shit, right? If you have to get a physical license plate, nice little small indoctrination. What up, Tracker? We have 3 years left on Earth. Coincidentally, NSA prison program went online 2011 or 2009 unofficially, and had the capability of recording every smart device on the planet for the next 100 years. There's 7 terabytes of storage delay. So listen, there's a very interesting thing that I heard about. years ago. I'm going to say in the late 90s, and it was they had computer systems that are unbelievably faster than what we have. And I remember having conversations that quantum computers originally weren't actually quantum computers. They were these same silicon-based computers that we use now, but instead of binary, they do tertiary. So they have -1, 0, and 1 instead of just 1 and 0. So they can do, it's like exponential with each bit. You know, you have 3 phases for each bit. High Z, 0, and high impedance, 0 and 1. Every Eagle Eye was pretty good. I never saw it. Honestly, like Will Smith movie, The Enemy of the State. That was a good movie. Enemy of the State. Yeah. Yeah. I loved that. I loved how, who was the other guy? Not Will. Oh, Enemy of the State.
A state is an organized political community with a single government in a specific area.
Yeah, I gotcha. Enemy of the State. Who was it? What's this guy's name? What was his name? Gene Hackman. Oh, Jack Black. Right. What he got blowed up. What's his face was in it too? John Voight, Regina King. 1998. Yeah, remember that building that Gene Hackman was in? It had that copper mesh screen on the inside that worked as a Faraday cage. Supercomputers were there before it. Yeah, right. But okay, let me see it. Let me see if I can find it. Tertiary computing. All right.
Ternary computing uses 3 logic states, like -1, 0, and +1, instead of the 2 states in regular computers. Each unit of data is called a trit.
It's called a trit, not a bit. Okay, let's see. Terminator 3. Go back to bed. All right, good night, Alec, brother. A Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines could use nanites to program the already existing servos and vehicles back then. Single bit carries 4K. It maps naturally into modern artificial intelligence models, and ternary neural networks are weights are quantized -1, 0, and 1, reducing power-heavy multiplication steps. So if this can be much less power, it can be much more efficient. Use much less power, much less power hungry. Gene Hackman, who recently died and have all the kinds of interesting information around his house. The Bloom box. You talk about the energy box that was used. It was printed mediums that were stacked. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. The energy producing box, the solid state. I think that's what it is. The Bloom box.
Bloombox Collective is a floral studio in Atlanta, Georgia, located in a pink shipping container. Nationally, Bloombox also refers to Bloom Energy's power generator.
Bloom Energy, that's what you're talking about. Yeah. The Bloom Energy generator, right. Solid oxide fuel cell power generator. And they were using some of them at some of the Google data centers, I remember. And listen, I don't know why this technology isn't in the mainstream anymore. Maybe they found a problem. Do you ever see random spider try to kill it, but it gets on you? I don't kill them, but every day I've got paths that go through the woods behind my house. I've got like 1.7 acres here. And so I've got paths that go back to my buildings and whatnot. And when I'm like driving my tractor, my lawn tractor, pulling my wagon, I freaking go through spider webs every day. Listen, and I got before I got to Georgia, every time I walked through a spider web, I would get anxious and freak out and try to get it off of me. But now when it happens, it's just like ding, I don't even blink anymore. So it used to freak me out, but now I only if it's a big spider does it freak me out at all. I don't know. Quantum computers have to be like freezing temperature. But yes, they do. Yeah, they have to be very cold. Well, supposedly now there's a room temperature one in the works, supposedly. But what I also heard back in the 90s, that they were using this ternary, using trits rather than bits. and they were hiding it, saying that it was a quantum computer. That's why they could do the such fast and powerful results. But they didn't want like China and Russia to know that that's what we were doing for our computing. Yeah, they need some 0-point energy. Yeah, yep. 3 to 7 days. So you want to know the comparative F-22 uses a rat brain assembly graph into a chip to fly projector. Sorry, I've heard about that too. Opposing crystals on cards. Some for in my house. I want some for your house and your cars. You got dog for protection? Me? No, I'm an American. We got other forms of protection. What up, Sir Keith? All right, what's that? Okay, how it works. Ceramic plates built from sand-derived ceramic layers painted with proprietary inks. So they're printed. They use like inkjet printers to print these different plates. And then they're different materials that touch each other and have like a crystalline lattice like you were talking about. Well, my local company, IPC was getting into generating images of people in history. I've been generating images. Oh, my Comfy UI. Gotcha. History. I have generally less famous people that still pumps out images despite being offline. Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I was playing around with Llama and doing some image generation stuff last year, but it just wasn't worth the resource expenditure to me. Brought up Dog the Bounty Hunter. All right. Okay. Operates high heat, making it highly efficient. 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. No combustion. Electricity is created through an electrochemical reaction combining fuel and oxygen from the air. Used by large corporate campuses, data centers, and retail giants like Google, eBay, and Walmart. On-site. Primary backup sources. High utility for critical data centers. Others debate their cost competitiveness. Let's see. I was hoping I could find a price for one. 25 years now, man. Well, time flies. What up, Papa Bear? I got dogs and self-preservation devices. That's right. That's what you need. I got a cat. Back when I was in 8th grade, we took a trip to one of the Freightliners plants, and they had full 3D printers back there, using it to print out test parts back in 2002. So sintering has been a thing for a long time. When I went to the applied physics laboratory where my dad and mom worked, for like family day, where they'd let you walk through and see the labs and stuff, they had sintering, which was 3D printing, but it was laser that would hit a bunch of like titanium powder, and then it would fuse it together. Then it would drop it down like 1/1000th of an inch, put another layer of powder over, and then hit it with a laser again. It's called laser sintering, and this was in the 90s. Here. Maybe I might have been 13, so it might have been the year 2000. No, 1990. Hold on. Yeah, no, that was like 1990. Right. What am I thinking? I'm born in 77. Back here, you have to have the cops after. Here, you have the cops after you got her. Yeah, that's no bueno. That's a good combination. Me Americans have dogs and wireless hole punchers. That's right. Not in Arizona. Technically, we're obligated to permanently punch holes in someone's shoes. Yeah. You got it. Listen, there's a lot of people that want. No, I'm not going to say that. A lot of people that feel that it's okay to be victimized if the person that's victimizing you needed something. It's very odd. What breeds you got? So instead of fixing the power of corporations, just making their own, we should really tax them more. So here's the thing. We need to fix the power grid. We've got more than enough money to do it, without a doubt. And we just had a whole bunch of companies. We had a whole bunch of new companies coming up online that use a lot of power. Like we got a bunch of automotive plants coming online, and we've got a bunch of chip manufacturing stuff coming up online. We've also got a new particle accelerator coming online. All this stuff requires a lot of power. I think with the billions of dollars that we were sending around the world to do things that didn't end up having good results, like it wasn't the amount of money we spent didn't get the results that were worth the money, and have these things been managed better, we can get better results for less money. That extra money that we're going to have available to, I believe, in order to attract more companies from around the world to do manufacturing in America, we're going to have to fatten the grid up. So I believe there's more ways of doing it with our current tax income, because we don't want to scare off new industry with high taxes. I've been using the pump while live drawings. People have been layered into ceramic tiles of half dozen models loaded on its public image every 3 to 4 seconds. What resolution? What are you getting at? Just 1080 or like 1020? 19. What is it? 1920 by 1080. Fuel capacity of Maryland jets. A lot of fuel stored somewhere. Yep. Wolf pit bull healer. Yeah, I had to put down a boxer, a husky, Chelsky. Oh, not a chihuahua. Catawalla. Down to 3 dogs. Had 5. Have to make sure we're retreating. Otherwise you're gonna get a murder charge. Yeah. You got it. Yeah. Yeah, you got to make sure they're not retreating. Chowski, a wolf pit mix. I've never heard of one. Dachshund, you got 2 cats as well. Put your dog down. I also put animals down personally. Particularly one took his sister's workplace. She was a veterinary secretary. Wow. Imagine infrastructure, not bombs. I agree. Listen. We've done a disservice to the children and the young adults of this country by pushing progressivism in the wrong way. We could have made America much kinder to world-class industry and given more of our young people higher paying jobs, rather than trying to drain the existing industry, because it's our government's fault, both Republican and Democrat, for shipping all of our manufacturing overseas. 4K. Okay. She's secretary at the vet office. I don't like buying a dog in Arizona, rock some dirt with a pick and shovel. I'm fat. So it's hard for people to kidnap me. That's my perspective. I know jujitsu. Myself. How do you keep from being kidnapped? I'm fat. 2040 by 2040. It's 2 guys. 2 times. Okay. Didn't we spend billions of dollars to dig a hole in Texas for Particle Accelerator and just stop? We have sent most of that money to Sweden instead. Yeah, it's like supposed to be 20 times bigger last week. Yeah. No, it was New York, I believe. There might have been one in Texas too, but the one that was supposed to be real big in Texas got shipped out to CERN. Yeah, Angus, I can picture you into a barn shooting a dog to end its suffering, like freaking Old Yeller. Omega, my very first dog, had the first Queensland Blue Healer when I got her when she was 6. Badass, passed away when she was 18. Damn good dog. Aikido, Kempo, yeah. Tai Chi, Stav, Shinpo, Red, Shoyer, Royce. That was H4, U.S. Navy SEAL, Vietnam. Damn. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians in the U.S. I agree. That's our fault. That it can be corrected. It's our fault. After World War II, our culture changed to make America more of the management class of the world rather than both, rather than being the management and the labor. So we started changing the way our kids were educated more into managing things, designing, and then using outside countries to do our building, our manufacturing. I think Trump reinitiated the Keystone Pipeline project. I believe he did. Yes, I believe he did that on day 1. Angus, how do you put? Okay, I was surprised to find out the majority of foreign aid is in fact loans, interest-free loans. You have to look into those because the loans aren't direct. It's not like we'll loan you $1 million and you have to pay us back. So there's grants also. Okay. So there can be like, we will give you a grant of $1 million to set this up. And then once that is done, we expect a economic return. Like if you can figure out a way to teleport people, right? And you say, government, give me a $10 million loan to develop this teleportation technology. They'll be like, okay, but when you do, we've got to be able to use that technology to increase the economy in America. And a lot of times, the stuff that doesn't need to get paid back is so you'll get some place will get a loan in another country, right? An economic enhancement loan or whatever they call it, and that will pay for the building and the administration, which people usually pay themselves $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. And then they don't get that much stuff done. So the amount that they would have to pay back is very little. Like they just want to see economic growth stuff. So you have to actually read the grants and loans, and it's freaking crazy when you get into it. Keystone is on Saudi Arabia needs to do the same. I think they are. I think they're actually working on underground pipelines right now. Humanitarian international loans. Gotcha. Gotcha. Right. Yeah. So ultimately, what does the government want done? They want more customers, right? So if you have a society somewhere, say in Africa, and you can set up to make sure there's a healthy bunch of people, and you can create companies and stuff in that country in Africa that then can benefit the Americans, in the next 30 years. There are things for that. There's international things for that to like help develop, not just like for AIDS relief and whatnot. They want to set up an industry that will ultimately bring something back. The problem is the amount of money we've spent there's not results for it. Like even that would show like, okay, now there's a bunch of people that will now start buying American candy bars or whatever. American vaccines or whatever, right? To boost it. Like you build the industry out there, you build the buildings and stuff that people can come to. You hire the people in the area that can make money, and then they get an industry. They start creating things of value that will ultimately. The problem is the amount of money spent is nowhere near. It didn't do anything any good. Like without continuing to fund it. It can't fund itself, and that's what a lot of these loans are supposed to do. Those loans are not paid back directly as money as well as paid back by taking that. That's true too. The whole reason the U.S. became a global power is because of our infrastructure, blue collar workers, 50 turbo tanks, every soldier. It was the reason, not management. Right. Yeah. Listen, it wasn't a good idea. It wasn't a good idea. But we were standing on top of our own giant testicles because we just won a world war, 2 of them. Oil companies need to provide their own security, not the U.S. as a job. Yeah, I agree. But, especially now. But you could also think about if it's going to hurt the United States if the oil that needs to get from this foreign land to the United States needs to get done safely, and you hired a company to move that oil, you have to be able to, offer some form of protection or say, hey, or you say to the people that if somebody kills you, the American government will go, freaking, not the World Health Organization, the NATO or whoever, some international police force will get justice. You have countries give loans. Why do countries give loans to humanitarian basis to gain debt control over them? Yeah, listen, absolutely. What up, pleb? What are we doing? We're streaming. Okay, so here's one of the plates This stuff was printed on like inkjet printers type thing. Yeah, everything China has been doing it for years. Africa for years. It's called Chinese debt trap loans. Yep, that's true. That's true. Yep, yeah, they're having a rough time right now. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. Loan money now. I come out the country, go back. China owes their own infrastructure. Whatever they built, roads, parks, power plants. The America, the same thing was the hidden. Yeah, listen, they all do. People don't understand how money works. People don't understand how the world banks work. People don't understand how central banking and world bank. They don't understand that the American dollar is the reserve currency for a lot of the world. Like the reason other countries like Japan and China could get loans and stuff from the World Bank is because they hold US debt, and we're very good at paying our debt back to our debtors, like the interest and everything. So if somebody says, if Japan says, hey, World Bank, I need a bunch of money to build a super train or whatever, they can get that money because they know that they could sell some of American debt to recover that. And because we even though we've got a lot of debt, the U.S. has plenty of oil to sustain ourselves. Yes, and it looks like we're going to have a whole lot more. October 16th, Alberta, Canada is going to vote to secede from Canada. And if that happens, our relationship with Alberta will become very, very, very good. And they've got like the third largest oil plots in the world. Why does IMF and the World Bank don't come into the picture? Why or when? Why do they? They should. People have no idea how the dollar works. People have no idea how money actually works. And this is by design, I think. People have no idea how debt works. They think debt bad. They have no idea how inflation works. They have no idea like how the world works. And I think it's easy to get money from people that are very, very ill-informed about how money works. The times are crazy. I had to cut off the pineapple tops, but I'm getting hungry this day and need sustenance. And I got wound to be licking. So what do we America owe due to a debt trap loan? We did the same thing. Trey, where we will set up an economy. We'll not exactly, but like the Panama Canal. But not like the Panama Canal, but kind of like how the Panama Canal was done. But we did that ourselves. But like big projects that need to be done in other countries that will ultimately, it'll be like a you owe me one type thing, but it's not a financial trap to other countries. It's more like if we need materials, we need resources from the ground. Typically, not uranium, neodymium. Thank God we secured it from the BRICS Bank. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, leverage. That's what I would say. National debt is what we owe to the Federal Reserve. We only borrow our own currency. You just not borrow money from other countries. That's correct. Our debt is in our dollars. We didn't borrow $1 trillion yen to do. No. They're holding our currency. Every South American country is basically a slave to the U.S. Well, so when you realize how much money a lot of those South American countries made off of that mass migration, they got rich, and the cartels got they were already freaking super powerful. But when that stopped, because they were spending and stashing so much of that money flow stopped, and almost every country in South America lost their left-wing elections and are now right-wing. The IMF and World Bank are backed by the U.S. and United States, both voting members. Yes, and the world reserve currency is the U.S. dollar. So like people talk about this communism stuff and this socialism stuff, and they fight with friends and family members, like cut off, when they don't even understand that the rest of the world cannot afford to have the United States dollar go into the hands of people that just want to give it away. Slavery was never abolished. It was changed to include all the colors. That's what it's in the name, Ocean brother. Day pay in Africa, some say is $1.37. No cartel really tries to upset the U.S. government. That's for a reason too. That's for a reason, right? That's for absolutely for a reason. But if you look at like what's going on in California and the West Coast, like Washington State, California, they have open air drug markets. The drugs aren't coming from American labs; they're coming from the cartels. So you have all of these people, tens of thousands, if not, I mean, that's just people that are like the homeless. Hundreds of thousands of people that do drugs in just those couple of states. And who's getting the money? However they get the money, whether it's from cash assistance or a job or whatever, donations, they're giving that money to the cartels. So it's not even like more borrowing from other countries. It's like taking at least other countries' natural resources or the ports up here. That's right. That's right. We own our own debt to the Federal Reserve, but that's why Trump is adding tariffs to pay back everything loan. Yeah. When is the candle making a show? What candle? They have freaking zero water. Bloom Energy. So it produces electricity without combustion, it says, eliminating virtually all pollutants that impact local air quality and community health. Huh, interesting. Yeah, this isn't the craft stream. No. No, brother. No, my friend. Fentanyl ferrets smoking their drugs out in the open day in Portland, Oregon. Cops don't do shit. Just let them do drugs out in the open. Right. So and they're not arresting the drug dealers either. Right. So how are the drug who are the drug dealers getting their drugs from ultimately? It's coming from the cartels. So they're allowed to sell much more drugs, a whole lot more drugs faster and without having to like run from cops. And then they don't have to pay to bail their dealers and stuff out of jail. Trump's got to put a stop to the increase of tariffs for Canada. Give him a call, brother. Trank is a foreign population control. Oh, Trank. Yeah. Someone is. I mean, it's so from what I can gather, and I don't know about Trank, but fentanyl and those other drugs, the precursors are coming from China to South America, where they have labs in South America that are converting it. I got a group of Norwegian politicians visiting in 7 hours. All right, bull brother. Have a good night, my friend. Yeah. The world sucks. It's going to get worse. So let's talk about positive stuff like crafts, gardening, and literature. Sure. Teslas are carbon free now. Pets. Sure. Let's talk about pets. Yeah, the Bloom box. Yeah, brother. Trump stopped terrifying Canada because the pipeline agreement. Terrifying. Teslas are far from carbon free. Far from carbon free. Yeah. They're far from carbon free, especially the production of them. All right, let's see. What's your favorite pet, Romans? For healthy, what do we do about healthy food made unhealthy? Like, for example, peanut butter. Lots of brands have sugar in it, food salt. Yeah, no, right. I garden. I garden a lot. Yeah, absolutely, Romans. I've got 8 hens. I've got okra growing. I got sweet potatoes. I got onions harvested. I've got bok choy. I've got Roma tomatoes growing. I got a lot. Yeah, right. So Shiva, so the way it's working is Canada has tariffs against the United States, and America didn't have a tariff against Canada until now. And now we have the same tariffs on Canada. They're called reciprocal. So whatever Canada's doing to us, we're doing to Canada. German Shepherd, the trank they use the dope fentanyl, these are like xylene, which is a sedative for horses and cows. Yeah. If you buy unhealthy food, it's because you're lazy to do your own research. Yeah, right. Well, and also, like, people don't think they have to. They think the government's not going to let us eat bad stuff. All right, let's see. All right, golden retriever. You said golden retriever? No, German Shepherd. Wow, man. German Shepherd. There you go. Look at that freaking cutie pie. Hall checked out China's new robot. Pabst Blue Ribbon. I haven't checked out China's new robot. It's hard with both parents are working 10 hours a day to survive. Yeah. Yep. Processed foods suck. Not even unhealthy food. It's just there's unhealthy. Why is there sugar in my peanut butter? Brother, back in the 1970s, there was so much sugar in the peanut butter, the U.S. government was going to label it as a candy. And they had to lower it down to, I think, 10% or something like that. They'll train you. Look at his big old floppy ears. Little guy. Xylene is what causes people to the crocodile effect when they get all sore and scaled alligator skin. That's crocodile. But it's 25. It's just 25% sugar. What's the ones that can climb walls? Damn it. Not mastiffs. What are the ones that can climb walls? Like are really known for climbing walls and like fetch and dang it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Belgian Marmois, Belgian Malinois. Nah, the tariffs. What up, Cheryl? My hermit crab is 21 years old. Russian blue cat, practically hypoallergenic. Wicked smart. They can learn to do tricks. Mine does a ton. Wow, how you doing, Cheryl? Belgian mastiffs. No, Malinois. Yeah. Malinois. Yeah, these guys. These have a very like a skinnier golden retriever look to them. Yeah, Malinois. Smartest dog I ever had was Border Collie. He would take away toy guns from kids and throw them into the trash. The toy box spit out. Wow. My spelling sucks. All right, brother. Yeah, these guys are no joke.
Check it out, folks. Super chill, easy to maintain, doesn't require a lot of work or any training on your part. The dog that you could trust to leave alone in your home and not come back to it being completely rearranged and them having torn through all your sofa and your carpet. If that's the kind of dog you want, then do not get a Belgian freaking Malinois. Maybe you need to get yourself a goldfish or a golden retriever if you really want a dog. You need something chill. Maybe a big, fat English bulldog that needs damn oxygen after going to the mailbox and back. Malinois are a lot of dogs, 1,000 horsepower engines, and they dial everything
Those spit
to
belly
11.
dogs, that's no problem. Wicked smile.
These go to 11.
Frequently called
I give you this
Malin
word
Gators.
warning
Daughter has
because
2
we're seeing these
Pomeranians,
dogs
ferocious
in the
Pomeranians,
shelters left
Japanese
and right because
Akita.
you all have these big hopes and
Malinois.
dreams,
And the
and you
military
think you
jumped
can
out of planes.
maintain
Yep.
it. This is a wild animal.
Akitas.
A Maligator.
Babysitting hunt.
Amazing dog
Bear
if you put in
hunting.
the
Jimmy
work.
peanut butter first like
Most
2
of you
jars
lazy
to get
asses
the
don't
fridge
put in
this
the
year.
work, so don't get yourself this dog. It's too much for you. Thanks for
Jeez.
watching. See you on the next one. Check it out, folks.
Get a Malinois, they say.
Man, it's up
But
on
not
the roof.
everybody
I got a
can
cat
handle
too.
a
I got a cat
Malinois.
too.
He just opened that door. He just climbed the wall.
Akita. We'll look it up next. Yeah, they definitely smile.
Bro, look. Man, who can handle this?
We might look it up. Japanese Akita. All right, let's see. Man, freaking the fluffy samurai.
Akita Inu, the fluffy samurai from Japan. Looks like a giant teddy bear, but acts like he owns the house.
I got no idea. It's a mutt. It was in a, I mean, it's an all white cat, had 2 black ones on its forehead in a Walmart parking lot. I had a Korean Jindo, same as the Akita. King Arthur is now living in a farm next to a military base. I ain't joking. Up, I a Chihuahua. They'll bring your nuts. They'll bring our nuts. Wow, when they're unhappy. That's crazy.
Loyal, crazy loyal. Will guard your socks like they're royal treasure. But hey, get ready to be the pet in your own home. Akita Inu, the fluffy samurai from Japan. Looks like a giant teddy bear.
Dogumentary. Dogumentary. Chewini? Now has bigger dogs my whole life. Little dogs rule. Chewini. I've never heard of a Chewini. Chihuahua? Chewini. Is it a Chewini? Let's see. Akitas can be very aggressive in territory. Yeah. No, I don't think I have. It doesn't sound familiar. Chihuahua Dachshund. Chewini's never heard of them.
Chewinis are playful pups with a lot of energy to burn. While they love to snuggle up and nap in your lap, they also love running around the house as fast as possible and jumping on and off of the sofa and other furniture to burn off some of that energy. Chewinis are playful pups with a lot of energy to burn.
All right,
while they love to snuggle up and nap in your lap.
What are we looking for? Cheese tax video. It's a mixed breed. Yeah, it looks like a mixed breed, yeah. Oh. The cheese tax. Yeah.
The cheese tax. You gotta pay the cheese tax every time you're cooking. When the cheese comes out, this puppy comes looking. The rules are the rules and the facts are the facts. And when the cheese drawer opens, you gotta pay the tax. The cheese tax. The cheese tax. Hand it over quick or things might get ugly. I can get really loud. I'm a really barky puppy. I'm not just asking cause I'm looking for snacks. This is real important business and you gotta pay the tax. The cheese tax. The cheese tax. The cheese tax. Oh, yeah.
The cheese tax. She's so nice to people, kills everything else. Well, hey, yeah. Time for the wackadoo shirt commercial. Get you one. Get you 110thgrade.com. Get you a wackadoo hat. 110thgrade.com. Bam. That's me. I gotta change my picture. Bam. $16.99. Or get you a shirt. Wackadoo. Bam. When I did long distance bicycling, like hundreds of miles, I got a Papillion. Put him in a basket of handlebars. Very smart dog. And he'll get hold of resentment. Papillion. Papillion. Yeah, oh yes, please. Please hit the like button if you haven't, everybody. Double tap the screen. Please help a brother out. I gotta remind people of this. I keep forgetting. Okay.
2 dogs, same breed, same handler, duking it out here.
My red-nosed pit hybrid used to come back with People's Price.
Agility champion. Look at her drive that dog. I think we can see why.
Spectacular. That was absolutely spectacular. Same thing with these weed falls. definitely talking to her while they're running this.
Getting that
two dogs, same.
Getting that cheese tax after that. I lived in the middle of a bunch of Mexicans, a lot of legal soda cartels. PSA: like and share, like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. I couldn't prove it was the rooster never going back. He came back with a full belly after he jumped over a 6-foot fence. Yeah, I had a mutt dog. Sandy. I had no idea what it was. It was definitely a mutt, definitely a mixed breed of multiple. And yeah, I remember we had a 4-foot fence, and then we got a 6-foot fence, and she'd still jump over the 6-foot fence. I remember it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I hear her like howling, screaming, and I go outside, and she tried to jump over the 6-foot fence. I guess tried to clear it. And it's the one that has the points on the wooden points, but they're like next to each other. So there's V's between the wooden points. And her paw got caught. So she was hanging by her back paw, and her front paws couldn't touch the ground. Mega, I want you to live next to Pablo the Plug, the just an emotion. I had 2 roosters. Well, when you buy hatchlings, they're 1 day old. You don't know if they're men or women. They think they know if they're males or females or hens or roosters, but 2 of them two of the 8 ended up being roosters. So when they got freaking mean. So they got traded in. Luckily, there's a big old chicken farm up the street, and they took the 2 roosters, gave me 2 hens. The cheese tax.
The Pomeranian is a walking puffball with attitude. The Papillon, a dainty, butterfly-eared diva. What's crazy is, both pack huge personalities in tiny frames, and that's because royalty loved their flair. 2 toy-sized legends, loud, proud, and ready for the spotlight. The Pomeranian is a walking puffball with attitude. The Papillon, a dainty, butterfly-eared diva. What's crazy is, both pack huge personalities in tiny frames.
Definitely.
And that's because royalty loved their flair. 2 toy-sized...
The Papillon. Let's see. What am I looking up here? Okay, bam. The cheese tax. What did you do to my brain? All right, favorite foods. Favorite foods or favorite desserts. I'll bring up mine first. Right here. That's my favorite right here. Right there. Molten chocolate cake. Oh, it's so good. Well, if you lived out to a cartel, you know they don't really discriminate. Yeah, they'll traffic to anybody. They're very inclusive to who they traffic to. The cheese stack. Here comes the rooster. Oh yeah, what up, Chance? I carried a 45 ACP 911 all the time in that neighborhood. It might have been the white boy that lives next door, but definitely did not mess with me. Well, they don't want to lose their Italian cheesecake. Italian cheesecake.
Italian cheesecake uses fresh ricotta.
Yeah, ricotta. That's a really good application. Cheesecake's a really good application for it. I don't know. I like $238. So that's a case. That's 4 70-ounce cheesecakes. What up, Robert? New guy almost lost his leg from a rooster. Oh, you knew a guy that lost his leg from almost. Jeez. Good to see. I've been here, brother, every day. How you been, Chance? How you been, brother? I had a Latina wife. Also had a Latina wife. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. That's about $8,000. It's worth about $8,000. It's from 9/11, 1914. It's a 9/11 from 1914. Get out. If you don't forget apple pie with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, oh, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. Apple pie with vanilla ice cream. I forgot the apple. So listen. Get yourself some cheesecake. Make yourself some cheesecake, and then when you're done, cut it up into like 1 inch by 2 inch cubes, whatever the height of the cheesecake. Don't cut it into like cake pieces. Cut it into cubes, the whole thing, whatever the height of the cheesecake is, and then make about 1 inch wide by 2 inches long, however high they are, and then put them sons of bitches on a pan, and then put them in your freezer. Then once they freeze in a couple hours, put them all into a big Ziploc bag, and whatever you want, just grab one of those nuggets of freaking frozen cheesecake ice cream nuggets. I mean, they're just frozen cheesecake, but they're so freaking good. And, I highly recommend it. I've actually still got a couple left from Thanksgiving. I got 2 more left, 2 little pieces left. Good to meet Lady Ben Busy. You met a lady. Good, brother. Can you make it after babies? What was I looking up? Oh, right. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. No way. Yeah, that's probably worth more than $7,000. Oh, $8,000. There you go. Probably, yeah. There you go. I had a friend trying to punch a rooster in the face. I call him Chicken Joe. Is shooting my grandfather, gifted as a drill sergeant World War II. Wow. I slapped garlic burn injuries like that. No, that'll work. If that's all you got, it's definitely, got garlic. I did have to put a new barrel on it. It's 100-year-old. Yeah. I sold a compensator, bro. Like the Punisher. Yeah, though, man. Burnt cheesecake. I don't like this really. I don't like. I don't know. I guess some people do, but I don't like it burnt like that. This is how I like it: mascarpone and ricotta. Yeah, I could do without the fruit though. Just give me good cheesecake. Good cheesecake, man. Just it's so freaking good. Delectable. Delectable is the term I use for cheesecake. A magazine, new trigger group, and better grip handle. Since I got large hands, just finished some Dutch apple pie with vanilla ice cream. Good stuff, freaking Kelvin. Good stuff. Dutch apple pie. Dutch apple pie. Damn it keeps missing my first word. Man, there you go. Most expensive cheese in the world is made from donkey's milk. Didn't know that. How you doing, Walrus? My friends, I was an Italian baker on the boat, taught me the secret family recipe, best cheesecake I've ever eaten. I guess you put it on. I'm guessing you put it under the broiler after you get it after it sets. I'm guessing. Yeah, succulent's a good term too. Man, that crumble on top. Man, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, boy. But still, my favorite is bam. Man. Molten lava cake with vanilla ice cream. Yeah, dude. Good stuff, Calvin. Pop Tart. Yeah, get your freaking Pop Tarts out of here. Johnson, Cheesecake Factory is the worst I've ever had. I don't think I've definitely been to the Cheesecake Factory. I don't think I had the cheesecake when I was there. Man, that crumbles, right? Toaster strudels were superior to Pop Tarts. Dude, listen, I remember when I was young, like 10, 11 years old, and I would go into the freezer and just take the frosting pack out because they had like the perforated frosting pack, so you got like one for each turtle, and I would just freaking like rip the top off and grab my teeth and just ADHD, baby. My dad's 9mm pistol from the Korean War and 9/11 sells for about 10 grand. Don Keys, Culinary Arts. Don Keys. What's up with the Discord recipe, Cheryl? Cheesecake Factory's honorary pie. Oh, man. Like this, like a brownie. Like I baked brownies the other day. I love brownies. But to bake them, I don't have any good like coins of like good chocolate to like the way to do it is to bake a brownie in a large cupcake tin, and as soon as the brownie starts to crust over on the top, I guess that skin. I like brownies with the skin. Like I'll show you. Brownies with skin. Okay, so brownies. So the ones that actually have like this type of stuff on it, the skin starts to crackle like that. Once that starts to happen, you shove like a coin size piece of chocolate inside of it so that it melts and the top closes back up. And then you just wait a couple minutes, pull it out, serve it hot with some vanilla ice cream. It's so good. 9mm classic. Man, it's so good. Normal ones or special ones. Of what? Of what? Dad did many things in his life I can't even compare. My daughter used to steal the frosting packs. I was eating naked toaster strudels for a minute. Right. Right. So my brother and sister would have to eat naked toaster strudels. So they started putting jelly on them because I would eat the frosting packets. I love brownies. I love them. I'm a big fan. Like this right here. This right here. Strudels on the Shiznit. I met the lady 11 years ago at Cheesecake Factory. For you haven't heard from her until about a month ago. Same lady you're talking to now? Vietnam SEAL, multiple master's degrees in engineering field, 7 U.S. patents, typically plays 4 different instruments, was a millionaire twice, died penniless, broke from Agent Orange. Man, sure did teach me to build things out of things. Tiramisu, okay, yeah, magic brownies. Tiramisu. Yeah, tiramisu is good. Yeah, like the ones that you would get, like, oh, you know what else is good? Banana pudding with Nilla wafers. My wife is so tired of baking brownies for me. Brother, listen, I bake them once a month. If in the summer, once a week. I go through a 9x9 pan of brownies a week. That's a legacy. Tiramisu in Italy is actually a bit different than the ones in America. What's up, Atari? Human brain to interwars movement animals think the USA, Israel, Iran, brothers, Houthis come to become an international law and save lives. The human brains to enter war as a movement. Yeah, I mean, listen, the problem with war is it's baked into humanity. Typically, there are groups of people that live their lives and they want the best for their tribe until that tribe bumps up against another tribe. Like as you grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And then when that happens, the leaders of those tribes decide who gets the resources. So war has always been a thing. We've been blessed with a long period of general peace, you know, but it's why you want a government, because your people are going to want to take the stuff you have and or you're going to run out of the stuff you have. It's just human nature, if you like it or not. Unfortunately it is. Cheryl. Baby was bananas. Baby bananas ones to die for. Baby, I don't think I've ever had a baby banana. I saw one that they can make synthetic chocolate 100 rounds of pounds from one coca seed. Synthetic chocolate. Where's the world going? Locking all the leaders. Well, there's a big problem right now. African cocoa, I was gonna say miners, cocoa farmers are selling their land to search for gold. Apparently, the cocoa tree, you can test the leaves and the cocoa nibs for like molecular gold. And if they find it, people will pay a lot of money to tear down all those trees, dig into the ground to find gold. And so, I can't remember. We'll look at it in a second. I've lost kings go to combat first. Yeah, it used to be law, right? Is that what it is, Gabon? Okay, hold on. African country making it illegal to sell cocoa farms to mine gold.
Ghana, a West African nation, has made it illegal to sell cocoa farms for gold mining. The new bill protects all cocoa farms, making it a crime to use the land for other purposes without government approval. Penalties for illegal mining can be prison sentences of 10 to 20 years.
I didn't say American country. Oh, maybe I came there. Brownies as in dessert, the only thing that puts the American on the map. France used to laugh until they ate a brownie. Brownies are freaking good. Yeah, right. Yeah. So, I don't know why it says, okay, Ghana. Okay, let's just go back to here. All right. So because the Ghanaians want money and farming is hard money. You have to keep doing it. Like, at least if you mine gold, you find a lot of gold, you end up rich. You don't have to mine it anymore, right? That's the gold fever. But farming, you have to have a crop. But the thing is, they want to bet on it. They want to say, hey, if I can get 5% of the gold you find, I can be rich. Don't get me started on banana pudding, homemade. No one's pudding could beat my mom's started fights. Brother, listen, I won't bet against you. But I'll tell you, I used to work for the Black Eyed Pea in Maryland. And they had 5-gallon tubs of the banana pudding. So we would dress the dish with vanilla wafers and then, scoop in the pudding. I used to go back in there and take one of the ramekins, scoop it out, and just eat it as like a shot. Like I was drinking a shot of liquor all the way out. I probably did it 10 times a day. But that was good stuff. My mom's vanilla pudding or banana pudding was the Jello, the pre-made pudding mix, So I never had like that. Like back in the day, she used to make vanilla pudding, homemade, but it took a long time, and the Jello was good enough for us, our kids. So, but banana pudding with vanilla wafers. Yeah, boy. Oh man, just like something like this. Magnolia Bakery in New York City had some of the best pudding I ever had in my life. Magnolia Bakery. You don't like banana pudding, Shiva, or you're crying for it? My grandpa and my dad used to make all of them for New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving every morning. They're Danish round pancakes. You have to get a special cast iron pan. What up, B2B? What up, Space Cowboy? Oh, what is this? This freaking kid eating bugs or something. It's just a crap. We were having such a good stream until freaking Space Cow showed up. I don't understand why you like this stuff, Space Cowboy.
The McDonald's ice cream machine was never broken. John Pork discovered that the United States government was limiting the amount of ice cream production by McDonald's because their McFlurries were turning people into like a Tim cheese, They start wearing cheese heads. They're eating cheese balls. They think they got a lot of Riz. They tried to mug me on the street in Ohio. It's kind of pissing me off. Anybody who goes to McDonald's and has a McFlurry comes out thinking they're like that. Look, we had people LARPing in Miami. There was Lamborghinis that were made out of styrofoam driving around. They had like that. Everyone was asking me at the World Cup, what are we going to replace the McFlurry with? And I told them this, the Freak Bob lemonade cup.
It's not banana pudding, less waffles.
Those little Dairy Queen things. If you look at the nutrition facts on the cup, it's got a lot of vitamin A, which is aura, so you automatically are going to pass the test. You won't get your driver's license taken away. But listen, there is a warning label that isn't on the label, but I'm going to tell you right now, do not eat the Freak Bob lemon ice cream and the Freak Bob onion rings at the same time. You're going to freak out. The McDonald's ice cream.
It's freaking wackadoo. Let that man cook. I'm crying for Puddin'. He's definitely trolling. He always trolls. Okay, let's see. You said banana pudding with waffles. Never even heard of it. Never even heard of it. You gotta be kidding me, frickin' Kelvin. I always miss Jello pudding pop. Jello pudding pops. Jello. Okay. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So chicken and waffles was something that I grew up with also. And chicken and waffles and banana pudding. They calling it creme brulee. You got a lot of vitamin aura. You meant wafers. Yeah. This is what I had. Nilla wafers. Nilla was the company that we used. Vanilla pudding with dwarf kneecaps. I would chicken. Yeah, I love chicken and waffles, dude. It's so good. There's got to be tons of honey on it. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, vanilla. Yeah, Nilla wafers. Yeah. We would get it like this. We would you line the sides of the dish with a Nilla cut banana or sliced banana, Nilla sliced banana, and you would go around and you would fill it up a layer, and then you would put a layer of Nilla wafers back down, and then you would do the same thing in layers, just like this. Oh, it was so good. You scoop in, and the wafers like absorb some of the moisture from the pudding, and it makes it soft because these are usually pretty crispy cookie. And it was so good, so good. Great in the salad. Yep. Manzanilla actually grows in my property. Wow. Found it with gold veins. Dig it up, brother. Your tummy's gonna shout. I can go. Oh yeah. As well as water, biscuits and gravy. Yeah, water's very good sign that you can have gold deposits. And listen, there's a lot. There's like. When I was a kid, I always wondered if I dug deep enough, would I find something like oil or gold? I actually prefer peach cobbler. Nah, I'm not a fan of peach. Not a fan. Don't tell anybody. I'm not a fan of peach. Never liked peach cobbler. I mean, I'd eat it if it was served to me, but I'd never order it. I'd never get like, I prefer apple cobbler over peach. And I don't like eating peaches as a fruit. You got to make scratch biscuits. We're on the same page about that banana pudding, brother. Brother, it's good stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. Man, the good old days. The good old days. I'm a fan of muffins. Anybody else? So yeah, I like muffins. I like there's these gas station muffins that you can get. I can't remember the name of the company, but they're big ass muffins you'd get for like $1 right next to the honey buns. Same company like would distribute them, but it wasn't like Little Debbie. It was like can't remember. Maybe Amos and Andy or Amos and somebody but it was a strawberry cheesecake muffin, I believe it was called. Really freaking good. I thought I was feeling a bit off. I would eat a lot of McDonald's ice cream. I thought I was feeling a bit off when you love peach cobbler. Listen, I like apple cobbler. Not a big fan of the peach. I won't touch McCancers. Banana ice cream. It's the best Marie Callender banana cream. I've never had one. Never had one. Apple pie with a slice of cheese melted over top. So I've seen that a lot in the South too, but I've never eaten it. I'll take cobbler over banana pudding. It's only because the crust on the cobbler has a crunchy texture. Yeah, banana nut muffins are good too. Yeah, banana nut muffins. Yeah, they're good too. And the same company has them. They're next to each other in the gas stations. Banana nut muffins and the strawberry. I want to say the strawberry cheesecake muffins or something like that. Let me see. Gas station strawberry muffins. Not Asian.
Asian strawberry muffins use regional baking techniques, like Japanese cream cheese or Hawaiian mochi muffins made with sweet rice flour. These muffins are known for being soft, bouncy, and less sweet than typical.
Yeah, here they are. Bon appetit. These. They had I don't know what the hell that is. They had oh, it's not really good. Oh, Otis Spunkmeyers. Yeah, they had the blueberry ones too, but it wasn't. It was like these. It was like these. Otis Spunkmeyer was definitely one of them too. And Bon Appetit. These guys right here. I've eaten these a lot also. These are cheeseberries. Yeah, those are good. Yeah, Bon Appetit. Yeah, these with the crumble on top. Man, homemade banana bread. But yeah, they're good. Yeah, from the black bananas. Yeah. They're good. Really good. Good thing I have a lot of, but good thing you got all that vitamin A. Yeah, they got it, babe. Pecan pie. Good stuff. Good stuff. Did you watch Sony's video when he came to Morocco and tried local cuisine? I'd love to see your reactions and comments in the chat. Sony's video? We can check it out. Mochi is insane. I don't think I've ever had it. Mochi, is that with the mochi? No, I can't think of what it is. I'm thinking of the green tea stuff. Oh no, never had them. No, I don't even know what these are. We had a pecan pie all the time. Actually went down to Scottsdale, picked the oranges, tangerines, lemons, and filled a horse trailer with them, brought back full of pecans. Banana bread with a crunchy crust. Yep. You got, dude. And when it's still hot and the crust is crunchy, like and the butter will still melt on it, like walnuts, squeeze the orange juice, 5-gallon buckets. What up, humans? I love carbs. He said, I don't understand expensive walnuts as a kid pounds them. See the Mongolian one where they cook the sheep its own skin? No, I've never seen that. Maybe I have seen that. Yes, I have seen it. We have the homemade pecan pie every season. Oh yeah, right. Where they have the rice paste and they hit it with the mallets, and somebody's like slamming a big ass hammer down, and like a wooden hammer mallet, and someone flips it. Yeah. Japanese ball flavors go green too. The apple Danish is so good. Gas station apple Danish. Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. Like this. It looks like this here. It looks like this. Oh, did I lose it? Oh. It's the long one. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about though. Those right there, Bon Appetit strawberry cheese muffins. But the one, the apple. What up, freak out tent? Stick with the brand. I like brownies too, brother. Big fan. Those were the days. The only dessert I liked from the Middle East was Turkish baklava. I'm a fan of baklava. I like baklava. Yeah, these here. They look like that. Is that what you're talking about, Kelvin? I basically grew up with a hippie commune. Church of Mookie Pounding is pretty funny. One more head. Yeah, it looks like it. Search for Tom Pouchet, my favorite Dutch sweet. I've never heard of it. Tom Pouchet. Let's see. Telling y'all Amish ice cream. It's 40 acres pride. About 40 different people living on the property of self-sufficient habitats. Slaughtering had 5 horsepower. Okay, yeah. They're great. Yeah, good old days. Goats, chickens. They were all my dad built a sound sphere speaker. It's fiberglass shot. Slapjaw. Not much to say. I said, do you speak my language? He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. We come from a land down under. Rolling men under. Can you hear the thunder? No matter run, you better take cover. Oh, that looks pretty good too. A real Dutch treat. Is that cream cheese in there? Favorite Dutch mystery is Van Halen. My one shot popular they would say some shit all in one. Had access when I was like 10 years old without parental supervision. baklava. Yeah, so that comes in lots of different ways. But it's puffed pastry and what are the nuts? What are the nuts? Split them. Somebody help me out. What's the nut? What's the nut that's in baklava? P p p. Pistachio. That's it. I think my neighbor's daughter gave me that. Great space now. All right. Yeah, pistachio. Pistachio pudding's good too. And pistachios. Pecans, walnuts. No, pistachios. Yeah. Yeah, and simple syrup, honey, right? You got me wrong. I was gonna say pistachio. There's walnuts in baklava? Oh yeah, well this is walnut baklava. I thought it was pistachios. Yeah, it's definitely pistachios. This one's walnut. Oh, baklava. Baklava. Oh, it just says chopped nuts. Walnuts, almonds, or pistachios, it says. It takes about 12, 14 eggs per batch. My sister-in-law is Turkish. Walnuts must be cheaper. My buddy made pistachio cocktail. Wow. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it says walnuts, almonds, or pistachio. It's probably whatever one is most prevalent in the area that you live in. Walnuts, baklava, haram to have it. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, where am I at? What was I looking up? Look up. Ebel Scriber. Ebel Scriber. Ebel Scriber. Pancake balls. Ah, there you go. Good way to sell it. Sell your own. Sell a pan. I've never seen walnuts in baklava. Not Turkey, not UAE, not Libya. Coffee grinder, fat bong. Fat bong, brother. Got you a meat grinder. A grinder? Oh, for your weed? It's all I use is what's your favorite sweet? Mine is molten chocolate cake or brownies. Molten lava cake is my favorite. Like this. This is these things like this right here. This right here. This one right here is one that I would sell my house for. But Dutch baby breakfast pancakes. I saw a diamond plated cut off grinder wheel earlier. Yeah, I've got diamond wheels for my cutoff, so absolutely. They're industrial diamonds, are pretty cheap. Never seen it with walnuts. An angle grinder. Yeah, okay, yeah. An angle grinder with a diamond cutoff wheel. Yeah. I've got 2 battery powered and 1 AC. Haram, like ketchup on well done steak. That's haram. I used to have to take leaf springs and make blades. Yeah, that's a very good thing to do. They do that a lot in the Middle East too. They get a lot of old leaf springs they make things out of. A lot of knives, a lot of absolutely. No. Baby breakfast pancakes. You mean pulverettes? Pulverites. Same with my blades. Just got to do the Midas touch. Yeah, it looks like it's the same type of thing. Dutch mini pancakes. Man, they look so good. You know what I really liked too as a kid? French toast sticks. I still would make French toast every now and then. I haven't really in the past year, but I used to eat it almost every morning. I had this issue before I got my vitamins and minerals figured out. When I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning starving, and the quick thing to make was French toast. So I had it like almost every morning for years until I got my vitamin and mineral levels checked. And then now I don't even I sleep through the night and everything. Hootenanny breakfast. How about Nutella? I don't like Nutella. I'm not a big fan. Yeah, I mean I like hazelnuts pretty good, but I'm just not a big fan of Nutella. Yeah, they expensive. One of my shatter when I have hands twitch, it hits up. They go, I have a grinder wheel through it. Are they too expensive? No, no, you can get one for probably $60 at Harbor Freight. Wait a second, what are you talking about? What am I missing here? An angle grinder? You talking about an angle grinder? What's French toast? French toast is like day-old stale white bread, typically, dipped in egg. Like you take an egg and you like scramble the egg to make a dip. You dip the bread in there, and then you can add, I usually add cinnamon to my egg mix. So you dip that and then you fry it in a pan. So you basically toast it in the pan. So it's like egg, cinnamon, and then you can use like pancake syrup, like maple syrup on it. I plan to weld a ski plate at the bottom of my bike so don't smack my exhaust. Yeah, you should get $50 off mark. Yeah, you should definitely get yourself an angle grinder, dude. Yeah, if you can get one cheap. No, actually, honestly, my cordless Timu that I bought for $30, except it's the DeWalt battery, is actually running better than my $270 60-volt grinder burned out. Yeah, listen, yeah, get them. Get your tools cheap. I mean, it's not like the safety is a problem. You know, it's the blade that you want to get a quality blade that won't just fly apart. I mean, it used to be brand specific. Yeah, I don't care about none of that stuff, dude. Yeah, I don't care about none of that stuff. I'm not a snob with any of that. I've been poor. I don't care none of that. I wouldn't get the tools that'll get the job done. I'm not going to spend any money extra. Eggs with cinnamon and old bread. Maybe it tastes better than it sounds. Dude, here, look. French toast. It's not stale bread. It's just not super soft white bread. Yeah, this is it. So this is a good representation of it right here. Yeah, with a dab of butter on it. So it's bread with egg. Yeah, so it's egg soaked into the bread. You soak the bread in egg, and then you put it on a frying pan. Flip it over. I add cinnamon. It's good. No. I just got an angle grinder. A multi. Just need a big old multi-use disc. Oh yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, you want a flapper. A flapper disc is what you want to do with your welds. Amazon's got a good use of multi-disc actually successfully. So there you go. Tiny strong springs to a plate. Tiny strong springs to a plate. That's it. I don't like Nutella. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Stale bread for meatballs. Yeah. It's but no, Texas toast is garlic bread. So Texas toast is thick sliced bread with butter and garlic in it. So this is more of a sweet breakfast dessert, like a pancake. But instead of making the pancake batter, you just use the bread that's already there and add egg. Any recommendations to pick up paycheck on a rectangle one for fix the flow? Yeah, any decent flapper wheel, yeah. Angle grinder flapper wheel. It said grinder. G-I-D-E, cinnamon, sugar, vanilla, cinnamon. Yeah. Sorry, I do add vanilla too. Yes. You don't have to use stale bread, but if you don't want it to fall apart, well, actually nowadays bread has all got wackadoodle shit in it, so it stays spongy anyway. But back when bread was fresh bread, if it got wet, it would start to fall apart. So like it couldn't handle the egg, like day old bread was the best way to do it. Cinnamon and a splash. Yes, that's exactly what I do. I add a splash of vanilla and sprinkle cinnamon on it, whip it up, and then I dip I flip it back and forth in the. Here we go. Okay, yeah. So these are flapper wheels. Yeah, $7, $2. Yeah, you can get them for cheap. But these are the type of flapper wheels, and they go right onto your angle grinder. You don't like French toast? I love it, dude. Yeah, wide cut bread, but typically when you buy Texas toast, it's garlic bread. Fox BC half-inch indestructible multi-angle. $13.99. No sugar and cinnamon. So the way an average restaurant will make it is exactly what we said. They'll take an egg, they'll take a dish. They'll put an egg in the dish. They'll add vanilla. They'll add cinnamon. Then they'll whip it up. Then they'll take the bread. They'll dip the bread in. Then they'll fry it. Then they'll add powdered sugar to it to dress the plate. And then you can add your own butter and maple syrup. Sold up very well. Yeah, you want thick toast. The thicker the toast, the better. I bake my own bread, so I can cut my slices so as thick as I want. That's what you want to use for grinding. So you want a grinding wheel also, but to polish it up and to get stuff away, flapper wheels work very good. Yeah, if you burnt your toast, just use the angle grinder. Powdered sugar on top. How do you handle like sudden impacts? Smack this while it's spinning. These handle it very good. You don't want to do that. I mean, you don't want to do that to like anything. It's going to make it fall apart. I mean, not going to hurt you. I mean, but you don't want to destroy your tools. Yeah, they're fine. Yeah. There's a brand garlic. Yes. Texas toast. Yeah, there you go. Texas toast. That's garlic bread. Texas toast, highly buttered, extra straight, thick bread, thickness gets grilled, boiled, baked, golden brown, 1940 crisp, fluffy. Tiredness, thickness, garlic bread, sloppy joes, or French toast. There you go. Which reminds me, should I order some more? I should order some more. I just squint and chip replace it so you don't die. Yeah, you gotta put your safety squints on. Mind explaining, I'm like super cautious about buying semi-cheap stuff when it comes to explode. Put some egg, sausage, potatoes, and maple syrup between 2 slices of spread toast. Yeah, that's good too. That's really good. Anyways, all right, Shiva, have a good night, brother. Rich, I know what a flap disc is. I'm just asking because if you had a tendency to twitch and jerk and use this concrete, I don't want a hospital bill. So are you on your vitamin and mineral journey yet, brother? Do you know that those twitches and stuff are typically like a low potassium, low calcium like issue? No, understand. No, yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, but you should get yourself taken care of. Half-inch indestructible cutting disc angle grinder. Yeah, you could buy the more expensive ones that are thicker, but if you just want to do weld grinding, like if you don't want to cut stuff in half, you want to do weld grinding, you get a 1/4 inch thick or 3/16 thick grinding angle grinder plate. I think it's 1/4 inch. No, not these. Here they are. Yeah, so these are just called grinding wheels, and they're like $3. And these you can bump around. You can like hit them into stuff and like chip stuff away with it, and they won't turn into dust. This is probably what you want. If you're not trying to cut metal with it and you're grinding your welds, this is what you want to use. A grinding wheel, not a cutoff wheel. Cutoff wheels, you don't want to, yeah. This is what you're going to want if you're going to be banging it into shit. I've been wanting to try that too. Been on creatine for 3 days. You notice any difference yet? Especially, listen, I had creatine in my coffee and I noticed it on the second day. That like I didn't have a crash as like off my coffee. Like it definitely lasted much longer. And I dose twice a day with my creatine. No, yeah, they get this. Yeah, I got a grinder wheel already to cut metal. You want to cut metal. Well, then so you can use a grinding wheel if you're afraid it's going to take you longer to cut through it. So you can just grind it until you get through it. But if you want a sharper line, then you're going to use a cutoff wheel. Yeah, just don't bang it into shit. I mean, you can hit through. Listen, I've used cutoff wheels with chunks taken out of them. You know, it all depends. If it's not what's called an interrupted cut, like if you're cutting mesh, like fencing, where it's got to go wire to wire to wire, and it's going, you know, those impacts. The Fox brand, I always wreck my grinder plates, probably using the wrong ones. Yeah, you're probably using the wrong material if you're wrecking them quick. All this talk about grinders making me uncomfortable. Where you think you're going to pull up your account? Yeah, Harbor Freight, you got, yeah, 15 amps. Bam, egg drog, brother. Thank you, brother. Da, 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 da. Throw in the gold coins. I'm not planning to smack it around just in case. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, they're a lot more durable. Just get something not. If the blade is broken, don't use it. If you smack it into something hard, stop, look at it, make sure it's not damaged, then continue to use it. Like, you're not going to find, they're not made of glass, you know, and they have a mesh inside that holds them together. But yeah, that's the most precaution you're going to do. Wear eye protection. I just bust out the miter saw and larger pieces of ice them. Yeah, that too. I'll kick you out of my house if you don't cut that hair. Beastie Boys. Man, place I worked at a very little grinder plate section, so I made do with what I had. Snapped like 3 a day. Yep, that happens. That happens. Also was very young, didn't get an explanation. Yeah. You gotta fight. Well, you're right. Tip Holly. I'll kick you out of this house if that's the clothes you're gonna wear. I'll kick you out of my home if you don't cut that hair. My mom busted in and said, "What's that noise?" Said, "Mom, you're just jealous. It's the Beastie Boys." Reminds me of my skateboarding days. My skateboarding days, boy. Nice. Hit the like button. Help a brother out. You get free sing-alongs. All right, let's see. Let me close down some of this stuff. I got like 30 tabs open here. All right. Here we go. There we go. If you don't cut that hair down, social fancy. Oh, it's so dumb. Tri-state tornado. Uh-oh. I ain't gonna bring that up yet. FIFA is trying to destroy the next World Cup. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Documentary on coal. Live debate retracted. Thousands of activists. 100 megawatt load. Full load. Hydropower beast. Hydrovision. All right, let's look at that. Almost there. Jeez. There we go.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, somebody didn't grind those welds. Remember, Fat Bong, brother. Grinder and paint make you the welder you ain't. Hydraulic cylinders. Grinder and paint make you the welder you ain't. Oh, geez, sorry, I'm all way behind here. Sorry. Bite the bullet and go to Harbor Freight and buy one of their high quality. Yeah. I bought some of the welding god to see the mug. Can't see mud puddle with the current helmet. The MIG puddle. Weld puddle, Makita or Milwaukee. Me, I usually use DeWalt, but other than that, I usually buy Milwaukee. Sorry, yeah, Milwaukee. If I need something right away, if Milwaukee's cheaper than DeWalt, I'll get that. I'll get Milwaukee, but yeah, because I have DeWalt batteries. But if it's a tool that I need that they don't have, where it's like $50 more and it comes with a battery, hyper tough. We can't afford name brand yet. Go with DeWalt and match with it. Yeah. Thank you, Drog, brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much, Strong. Thank you, brother. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you, brother Drog. Harbor Freight sells Temu. What's up, just me in Minneapolis? Temu's a bunch of junk. What up, Raid? I doubt there will be another World Cup. Yeah, it looks like something wackadoo's happening on. Focus penetration over clean welds. Yeah, yes. Grinder and paint, making the water you ain't. Make sure you bond the metals. Make sure you get good melt. Make sure you get good penetration, right? Absolutely. Why would there not be another World Cup? It looks like they're trying to kill it. It's caused a lot of tension, and I just saw a headline when I was just looking through here right now. Isn't Milwaukee one of the best? But yeah. Milwaukee's very good. So the movie industry is primarily the main three tools that are used in the movie industry is Milwaukee, Makita, and DeWalt. Those are the primary three. There's also Rigid and all of the other more generic brands, stuff like that. You'll have people that have the cheapest of the cheap because you might drop it from 100 feet and it ain't worth anything anyway. Milwaukee is definitely very heavy duty stuff. Type Team Blue Makita guides up. They have universal compatibility for all their products. Yeah, Makita's got nice stuff. And Makita's also got a lot of cool stuff like a multi-battery charging station, radio, USB charging station, all in one type thing. So they're good. You see a lot. There's a lot of Team Blue out there. Absolutely. Makita also has a very nice, like, hydraulically backed impact driver that has like like you can hold it with a thumb and your trigger finger and run freaking nuts and run screws or bolts in with it, lags in with it, and you're not getting any kickback torque because it absorbs it really good. But it's like $400, like $399. It's actually it's a maroon color, and you can only get them from Japan. It's furniture maker Milwaukee tends to be slightly more powerful. Yeah, Milwaukee's got a lot of power, and the batteries seem to last longer. My glasses just fell apart in titanium weld the other day, probably done in China. Luckily, Costco gave me credit. Titanium weld broke. Yeah, that's crazy. Spain wasn't supposed to win for one, and the world's going to be busy for a while. Makita ergonomics are the best. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. The Makita, what they do for the user is definitely, but you're paying for that luxury. Milwaukee tends to have higher torque, but lower RPM. I would bet they're going to have another World Cup 2030. Besides, they do them every 2 years, alternating men and women. I'm not even a soccer man. You know a lot more about it than I do, that's for sure. 80s Makitas are relics. 80s Makitas. Rich, the weld is a tiny little pinprick weld. Yeah, they didn't do a good job is what happened. Yeah, the weld should be stronger than the metal. What was I doing here? I forgot. Megawatts. Yep. This attack. Move on. They do so heating. You say tungsten or I said titanium. Heating titanium can blue it. It can change the color of it with too much heat. Right, so they're probably, if it's very thin titanium, they're probably trying to give it as little heat as possible to not have as much scrap. So, I mean, but they should have done a better job than that, obviously. I said you pitched in the doorway. All right, so you done? You done it? Yeah, send it to me, brother. Send it. Oh, what do we got here? Make an inch long. True. And Mont Blanc, the high dollar pens. Oh, branch to their titanium frames. Tell me Costco doesn't carry them anymore. Probably, yeah. Probably the reason. When American manufacturers like DeWalt makes things in China to people that they use Chinese steel, not imported, so imported American steel to make their tools because they do not use Chinese steel. The Wicket Gate.
Now, let them come prepared. It's not fresh.
Man, they must have done some work on that. That ain't missing. If that thing ain't spinning, they ain't making no money. One of the premium brands that sold their name did shitification Chinese back. Right. Well, everything is everywhere. Like even those bags women are spending $30,000, $40,000 on. Those bags are made 99.9% in China, and then the like in France or Italy, the last thing, like putting the zipper on and putting the logo, like the metallic logo on, is the only thing they do in like Italy and France. That's it. They have to stitch a zipper on. Everything else done. The DeWalt, Makita, Milwaukee, Bosch, Metabo are all great person reference. I can use them all every day. Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Festool is definitely overpriced, but Festool does have some nice tools, like the track saw. The Festool track saw is very nice. Fine, also very nice stuff, very durable, but yeah, it's not worth the price for me. I could buy 3 freaking Milwaukees for that price. So you think American companies are using shitty Chinese steel? I don't think a pretty well import American steel is better. No, I think you're right. I think they're also getting a lot of the what's the term? Pre-wackadoo. Like any preforming and stuff done will be done in China before being shipped back over to America. But yeah, but we also have a lot of steel factories coming back online now. So there's going to be a lot of changes in the next couple years, which is very good for us. I would appreciate an insight, Chibo, when Adam's still waiting for L brackets. Still don't know how to skillfully chisel a tenon or more. Just cut the proper. Yeah. The only way to learn, dude, is to get in there and start hacking away. Get some test pieces, and let's get some test pieces and start working on it. It's the only way you're gonna learn. I mean, it'll make sense to you. You know, the tenon and the mortise are opposites of each other, right? So if you take out a 1/4 inch by 1 inch deep by 1 inch long, you want to have something on the other side that's a 1/4 inch wide by 1 inch deep by 1 inch long. You know, so that China processes most iron for American use. Most. Yeah, so which is crazy because we had, like, America had unbelievable steel manufacturing for forever in America. transferred everything. Right, and that's unbelievable. We had Bethlehem Steel, where my father, my grandfather, my uncles all worked, and they had shipbuilding capabilities and one of the largest steel factories in America. Bethlehem Steel, Baltimore. Damn it.
Marlins.
Bethlehem Steel, Baltimore. Bethlehem,
the Bethlehem Steel Plant in Sparrows
Point.
Point, once the world's largest steel mill,
Once
opened in 1891 and supplied steel for landmarks like the Golden Gate Bridge and the Empire State Building. It employed over 30,000 workers and closed in 2012.
The world's
but the site is now
largest,
a major logistics hub called Trade Point Atlantic.
The world's largest. And it closed in 2012. Why? Did we stop needing steel? No. What's up? Who's a fail? I prefer Hyper Tough, my Heart Tool brand. That's Walmart. I never even heard of them. It's a good thing we sent all our improvements over China. Yeah, and everybody knows that they did that. Everybody knows that they did it. Like, and people will say, even when you talk to people, innovators, they'll say, yeah, I'm going to send it to China, get built, and they're going to steal my idea. So they set up and they tool a factory to make your product. They make your product. They say you ordered 100,000 of these things, and they make 500,000 of them, and then market 400,000 under a different Chinese brand and sell it on Alibaba and stuff. It absolutely happens with every product. Why do you think it's so easy for people to get fake luxury, fake designer? Because they make this, it's the same thing, same factory, same molds. The only thing that's typically different with a lot of luxury stuff like that is like on glasses, they won't use metal, like they won't use gold hinges, they'll use gold plated hinges and stuff like that. Thank you, B2B. I appreciate it, brother. Do you have Parkside, America? Parkside? I don't think so. It's 40 euro drill, $20 battery. Last year's Parkside. Parkside Tools. Damn it. Parkside Tools. Damn it. I did it again. Not tide pooling. Parkside Tools. These? No. That's crazy looking. Did you might be thinking I'm crazy to hang out. Maybe you're thinking I'm looking at something to do. My gramps worked in retired steel from Alcoa. Alcoa, yeah, I remember Alcoa. They started drilling like crazy. They need like Argentina fights Brazil. Do you recall taking? The government should have bailed out Bethlehem Steel like the automakers. What a shame. 40,000. I agree. Would have a hard time. Adora for World War 11. Yes, right. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Doesn't make any sense, does it? It's the thing. Most things made in China, cheaper labor costs to business owners as we pay less for products to consumer. Right. But the thing is, what we're talking about is if you develop a product, if you develop a pair of glasses, a luxury pair of glasses that you want to sell for $100, you have them made in China for $15 a pair. And you sell them for $100 a pair. You make profit, okay? They'll sell them for $16 a pair on Alibaba because the factory that was tooled up to make your product in China will make more of them to sell. And that's where they make most of their money because you're not paying more for, if you sell it for $10,000, but they make it. I mean, look at the iPhone. The iPhone costs $10 to make. The iPhone 14 Pro cost $10 to make in China. And they were selling it for over $1,000. Sabotage. No sabotage. Sabotage is always playing on something else, usually incompetence. Usually incompetence. Right. Do you really think our politicians are as dumb as they appear? Yeah, that's what they do. Who's a fail, brother? That's why you rob them. No way iPhones cost $10 to make this robbery. No, absolutely. Here, look.
I want to quiz the audience. Does anybody know how much it costs to make this beautiful
What's up, Mr.
product
George?
in China?
Sorry.
Anybody want to take a guess? It's the iPhone 14, $100. Okay, I'll take one more guess. 300. So I got a 99 guess. I got a 100 guess. I got a 300 guess. You ready for the answer? $10. I swear to
The
God.
old boys club on my side of the
sharing
world
with
give me
these
a hard
guys, they
time
couldn't
not
believe
being
me.
helpful.
I've
Really,
visited the
thanks for
factories
back
3
there inspiring me.
times. I've met up with the chairman of Foxconn who makes these things. I want to quiz the
There you go. There you go. Inspiration's good, brother. I bid $1, Bob. I dare you to say the M word. M word? Martin. I don't have an M word pass. It's so crazy. All that is a I miss my old Nokia 2G dumb phone. What websites, video, YouTube system? Yeah, ask and the forum, and I'll help you out, brother. Morlock, Maga, Moliak. I forgot what I was saying too. I forgot what I was talking about now. Lost it. Oh, okay. So all this is a magnet spinning around a coil of copper wire. So yes, it's a big magnet. It's a lot of copper wire, but it's not like it. They're making millions of dollars off of it. The term for little people. The owl god that's on your money. The Bohemian Grove. The design of Washington D.C. from above. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff to see too. Mini me. And that's oil tanks. That thermally cycle oil, thermally siphon oil. Mid-jet, Alex. Man, I like things with lots of lights and buttons. Munchkins. Yeah, there are a few. Everything's in English. This is a 100 megawatt hydropower beast. I think I'm cursed. My kneecape's growing. I was hoping to see like I was hoping to see this part here. I was hoping to see the water come out. No, he's making knee jokes. I was hoping to see a whole bunch of freaking water pump out really fast. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can find a big. Oh, that was me. That was me. Richard feels the power. Richard feels the power. Look at this. Of the huge valve pouring out at 20,000 liters per second. That's a lot of liters. Here we go. This is what I want to watch. Hell yeah, keeps me at least mad. I just want to be normal. Oops. Oops. Look at all that mud. That's a lot of mud. Jeez. That's the pressure turning the water turbines. Why does everybody else control their chat but you are leaking? Listen, I think I'm super shadow banned. Let's see how many people have we had through this stream today. We've had 523 people through the stream today. In 3 hours. I don't know how many people would normally get in 3 hours. But yeah, a lot of people don't say stuff. I don't get it. My knee will grow and next thing morning I'll be look like to me in the morning. My wife sneezes also have issues. Yeah, that's a lot. Water release. Super shadow man. Yeah. I talk about a lot of things that would keep me down. If I had to think about it, so I definitely talk politics that people don't find kick ass. I definitely talk health stuff. There's a big thing about telling people to take vitamins and minerals, or telling people they should talk to their doctor about taking vitamins and minerals. That definitely does not make you popular, because unless you're selling something, and I'm not, right. So then you can't have money behind it in order to inflate your views or to market your stream or video. And I definitely talk COVID stuff like that. But I'm fine. If I owned a bar and people came in like you guys do, and I had 10, 12, 15 people come through and sit at the bar and chat for a few hours, that's a success to me. Maybe I'm just stupid, but it's working for me. I'll tickle my pickle. My head goes a comment, shakes his head, immediately closes it. Pickle tickler. It's all our faults collectively. It's all right. Yeah, I'll swearing in streams. That's not PG out. There you go. Now more people left. They're like, what? Politics? Oh, now I missed what I wanted to find. That was freaking unfortuitous. Unfortuitous. Anyway, we'll find something better to watch here. Okay, let's see. You need bright rainbow colors. YouTube. Yeah, I think, but I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. So maybe I'm old enough to understand that. The view count doesn't get you paid. It doesn't. It doesn't. Having 100 kids in here to show that I've 107 people in here doesn't do it for me, because I don't get to have the conversations. I don't get to have what I want to do. If somebody has a question about something, we can go down and break it down. I couldn't do that if there was 100 kids saying 6'7", 6'7", 6'7", and are you Jewish and this and that and whatever. It would just be, it would completely fall apart. We'll see what happens when I switch to widescreen. I think getting off of the vertical format will definitely do a lot more for me. And from what the other companies that I work with, or like Amazon and whatnot, for the Amazon influencer stuff, they recommend after getting past 2,000 subs to go into widescreen, and I didn't do that yet. I'll be doing that on the 27th, after the 27th. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I would rather have something kick ass. I make like $100 a week off of this, right? And so like if I go widescreen and I run ads while I'm talking to you guys, I could make money off of it. And then by running ads, because YouTube will make money by right now, I'm just costing YouTube, right? So they've got to handle the servers, they got to handle the stream going out all over. So it's costing them, and there's no ads being played, so they're not getting paid for those ads. So if I go widescreen, they have ads on the side that doesn't shit like on vertical. They'll have ads, but it'll just be a whole freaking ad will pop up, and you won't be seeing the stream while the ad's playing. So it's not worth it to me. And then if the ads pop up on the side, but the stream's still going on, then I can get paid doing that. And then when I get paid, they get paid. So they would send it out to more people. And that makes sense, because the more people that see the ads, the more money they make. Right now, they're not making anything off of this. This is exactly like my local bar. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I used to do all the time. After there's 7 scrolls down, 5,000 watch a person popping fake pimples was the next skin anymore. Humanity's doomed. No, do we want to talk about your youngins? Yeah, no. Just run a snowball penguin game. Yeah, I'm not doing that stuff. Yeah, they love that pimple popper stuff, dude. 6, 7, or 8. Yeah, that's what I get a lot. Or used to get a lot. That's my ex-wife who volunteered to pop pimples on my back. What's up, Robert? Yeah, Among Us, another big one. That stuff is strange. Yeah, they like it. My ex used to chase me. That never. This is the way I've been my whole life. This isn't a performance of me. My nail bag. Yeah, dude. When I was in the movie industry, I used to carry a nail bag, and if we had to go up high in the air and build big ass shit, we'd have to bring our screws with us. Sometimes about 80, depending on how many tools I had stacked. Yeah, a lot of fasteners. They get super disappointed. I don't care if it's the thing. I never met a dude to do it yet. Yeah, me neither. I was promised a good stream 3,000 years ago. Oh, I hit the wrong button again. Let's see. And also, like, if I was getting paid more, I could start streaming earlier. So that would probably be better too. If I could start streaming at 5 rather than 7:30, then when people get in, and also YouTube's pushing TV for live streams, and this vertical isn't kick ass for TVs. So I would, and we'll see. I don't care. Like it's not that big of a deal to me, because it's not. If I used to have 1,000 people in a stream and then I have 7, then I could say, okay, people don't like me anymore or whatever. But it's still growing, so it's still like, okay, cool, something. And also, like, I don't have a whole date to put into it yet. When I go widescreen and I start pushing my merch store and actually telling people to subscribe and telling people to hit the like button, the more people that hit the like button, the more people that get introduced to the video, because YouTube says, okay, people that are watching it like it, so other people might like it also. If nobody hits the like button, it doesn't get redistributed out more. Drug, you mean that YouTube permits and endorses ads? They do. My dad's dog just got diagnosed with diabetes, and he wouldn't believe me when I was explaining that cheap and rich white flour hot dog buns was one of the worst things she'd eat. One of the worst things she could eat, absolutely. And the dog food, the dog food with grains in it is one of the worst things they can eat too. Yeah, you got to switch over to an actual food. Big issue is these portions of man issue. I think we should start wearing little hats while back and forth. Wonder how it works for moringa seeds. Ground moringa seeds, yep, that'll slow down absorption of things. It'll allow your body to break down those carbs slower. It also raised its barrier to entry to partner programs with AIS Lab. That's true, they did. YouTube permits scam live streams. I'm guessing most of us have crocodile thumbtack streams. I'm gonna push to the last 2 teeth people. Yes. Yeah, that's such bullshit. Yeah. You got to make some money from YouTube Premium viewership too. Yeah, I do. The fun fact, they aren't even streams, they just pre-record live videos. Right, but the kids don't know that, and they don't care. It's just like when we were kids, we watched, like I wasn't born in the 60s when you know, like I was born in the late 70s. So like the Bugs Bunny episodes that we were watching were made decades before that, and we still watch the same ones over and over and over again, you know, and that's the same thing for them, it seems like. They don't care as long as they're around other people saying 6, 7, they're happy. And it would ruin the vibe here, so let's see. Let's see. Yep, same in the 90s, right, same thing, yeah. All right, let's see. Virginia governor betrays voters. Uh-oh. Shocking moments caught on camera. All right, we'll watch this for a couple minutes and we'll call it a night. Jeez. These streams got the most aura. That's right, brother. Yeah, I still say groovy every once in a while, but I kind of forced myself to say it. Wassalamu alaikum. If you don't like barbecue sauce, F you. The other dumbasses there. I'm one. So if you're not on this video, some guys are Canadian, no bags, just scamming. Spam burgers. Yeah, she's not making people happy, that's for sure. I'm so glad I have no idea what 6, 7. I don't either. It's just something that kids started to say. It's became a trend. Yeah, I got no idea. No idea what it means. Uh-oh.
This is exactly what a real professional looks like. Excellent reaction time.
That's not good.
That's not good. That's not good. Yeah, they don't know what it means either. They just see other kids saying it and... Jeez.
It's a modernized version of the Tesla coil, no transformer, completely solid state and electronically controlled.
Yeah, I always wanted to build a big one. I don't feel something the rapper made up with the Illuminati puppet. Growing a beanstalk and he won't tell us. That's right, I'm working on it, brother. I'll show you the video when it's done. What do you call a neuron-driven pirate make a battery?
The high-voltage battery dismantling table reduces fire and overheating risk. It includes a built-in tank to submerge battery packs instantly in water or coolant during thermal events.
Yeah, these guys are nuts. Best thing to do is see somebody that has pee on it. It'll stop it. It'll do it.
A viral video claimed to show real ball lightning, but it was fake.
Yeah.
It is a CGI video made by Andrei Trikonovets on YouTube in 2019.
I said there's 2 things I do every day. What is it? That's 7,620 volts. Yeah.
Jeez. These guys are nuts. Good night. Night, brother. Jack Morgan's. All these people saying vote for those left because they will disturb the right. I'm not going to vote socialist. Yeah, right. It's brain rot, slang term, mindless catchphrase. Kids just confuse people. Adults don't actually mean anything.
A moving electric train near Krivoy Rog caught fire after a 3,000-volt wire snapped and hit the roof. Sparks flew, passengers fled, and the scene turned into a fiery spectacle. Luckily, no injuries. Another train later rescued them.
Jeez. You're a fan of peanut butter. Yeah, I've seen it a bunch too. What up, Isle? Love the techno music and all these lists.
Whoa. That's not good.
Nope.
That's crazy, yo. Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Videos remind me of Styro Pyro. He's awesome. He's awesome. He's a talented guy. Eating peanut butter, pissing on power lines, because God told us to. 6-7 means peanut butter is awesome. Literally beam of doom humans. That's like the Eye of Sauron. Whoever's allergic to peanuts goes special camp. Window licking.
In Alphen and den Rijn, the Netherlands, 2 construction cranes crashed into 4 houses and 2 shops. No one was killed, but 1 person was injured.
Yeah, the guy in the crane probably. Until the gets carried to the bench, basically melts everything. Was the slag? Yep. It'll. Oh, jeez. That's a lot of power right there. Set them free. If I was ordered to be, that's my best weekend ever.
Okay, starting now.
Be red. 2 green, 4 green.
All right, open switch 272.
Yeah, that's a problem. All right, good enough. All right, everybody. I'm going to call it a night here. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Love y'all. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.